Hey there, it's me, Rangy Randy. I'm the Dungeon Master of this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game. Welcome, welcome! Welcome, everyone. Hello. So, this is another lightly edited version. It's not a supercut. I'm trying to get out of giving everything the supercut treatment because it just takes such an ungodly long period of time. And art fights going on, and I still haven't made any attacks or any references, and it's like half over. What an pity. Anyway, Sammy, Ding's player is not here, so Ding is absent. And, we've just got two players doing heavy exploration-based and interaction. So this is a very interaction-heavy session. There's a little bit of combat. Little bit of fun combat. Haha. But, I'm trying to figure out how to work stuff in without making combat too boring and without over-relying on grids, because planning dungeons takes a while. Improvising interactions does not take as long. I'm also going to tell you now there is no Dungeon Master's commentary outro for this. So as soon as the video's over, it's over. So enjoy. So you each have taken a considerable lounging about in the lodging in your beds. You have an opportunity to talk to one another if you'd like.
If you need to say anything, go ahead.
No, Ruru's just like looking a bit pouty, but mostly very sad in her bed.
Maven sees Ruru all sad, and he looks at the black rose flower that was placed next to his bed and gives it to Ruru.
What's this?
Well, I mean, it feels like you wanted it more than me, so here you go.
Ruru kind of like, apprehensively takes it. Oh, thanks. That actually really means a lot.
It's no big deal for me. I know you probably wanted it more than I, and you deserve it for all the hard work you did down there.
Ruru kind of like looks at the flower, and she can't really bring herself to meet Maven's gaze. Look, I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused down there.
What trouble?
What trouble? Every floor, I swear it. I got all of us into trouble one way or another. Look, I know I may not be the most pleasant person, but I still feel really shit about it, so I'm sorry.
Well, without you, we probably wouldn't have made it out there alive.
Oh, really? How do you figure that out?
How did we even get past the first, guards? You had killed them, technically. When we first got in there, you got the first kill.
Well, I guess you're right.
Then who distracted the queen? That was you.
Rue kind of like softly blushes and like grabs her cheek. Oh, well, I guess you're right in some regard. Thanks.
So, Maven puts a hand on Rue's shoulder. Hey, it's better off than being dead.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay, and after a moment, you both hear a rhythmic clapping of hands. As you turn toward the sole entrance to the lounging, you see Jamie leaning on her oak crutch, clapping her palms together with a smirk on her face. Well done, each of you. I didn't imagine we'd see the likes of you, our esteemed guest, again.
Maven looks confused at Jamie. Were you expecting us to die?
Rue kind of perks up at this too. Wait, you weren't expecting to see us again? Like, you were just basically sending us on a death mission?
And then Jamie takes a coin and she flips it in her hand. She's like, "How many times have you seen a coin come back up from a dark well?"
Rue kind of looks a bit frightened and glances at Maven. Dude, that's kind of really fucked.
It is really existential, but she's got a point.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And this means that you lot aren't regular people. I was frightened at first when Marumeru had made her selections. They were a very motley crew, but you've shown that you can really keep yourselves alive out there. We were very worried about Puko for a while, but if you have made observations of your own, you've noticed that she isn't like other children.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. She's got a lot of
Say that again.
talent.
You certainly can say that again.
Anyway, I just came by because I need, I'm going to need those link pearls back. I just was trying to contact our courier, Miss Marumeru, and was wondering why she wasn't responding to me for an hour and a half. Lo and behold, I find that their communion devices were missing.
Huh. Well, Maven...
That explains that mumbling I was hearing.
Maven takes off his link pearl and gives it to Jamie. Well,
Thank you very much.
No problem. I'm pretty sure Ding has hers, but if you want to take that from her.
Oh, not a problem. Then you see her point her finger and use the mage hand to pluck it off of Ding's ear. You see, these
I guess you could say...
Go ahead.
I guess you can say that's a very handy spell. I'm sorry, I had to.
Maven looks at Rue, disappointed.
Rue returns a very smug and like knowing shit-eating smirk.
See,
when you're born to be bad, you go all the way, right?
So you make bad jokes too?
Exactly.
You see, these link pearls are a communion device that allows us to communicate over long distances. And over time, I'm sure that I'll assign some to you lot as well. But for now, we just need to be careful in this time of conservation. At least until we go to the town to restock. Which, speaking of, I came by to let you know that I've gotten the storefront figured out. So if you found some things that you don't particularly need and would rather convert them into cold hard cash, come over to the storefront. I have a mind to send Miss Meru over to the next township before the day ends, and by tomorrow morning we can have you some coin to spend.
Ooh. Hey, Maven, I say we get a jump start on this before Ding wakes up.
Might as well. She's fast asleep. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, take your time. Just come on over before dinner time, and I'll be able to send them to town, and I can have you some money by tomorrow morning. I don't know how much it's going to be. The market changes all the time. But here at Birchback Burrow, while you're here, we'll try to give you opportunities to learn and earn. And at this moment, she kind of puts her hand up as she limps out of the lodge and closes the door.
Well then.
I hope today's just an easy day. I really need it after yesterday.
Oh, it's the same day.
Oh.
Just like late at night.
Yeah, it's like the moon is up. It's like it's almost bedtime. You've had a simple dinner of like bread and stew already.
Oh, no, it's just okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me rephrase that then.
Sorry for not making that clear.
I hope tomorrow's an easier day. I really need it after today.
Yeah. I'm a little bruised, but it's nothing that a night's rest won't fix, so. It was a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot.
You still okay from that door, by the way?
Oh yeah, I'm. Rue kind of like bites her lower lip. It's just a push-only door, you know, nothing we couldn't handle. Just perfectly fine, all peachy.
Yeah. Okay. Maven nods his head, like both smiling and giggling at the same time. Sure.
I'm just glad you didn't get fried by my firebolts. That would have been a problem.
That certainly would have been scary. I'm not used to being hit with fire, so. I'm
Oh
glad
yeah,
that didn't
tell
happen.
me. Tell me about it. I've heard plenty of complaints by people having to bathe in hellfire for the rest of their immortal lives, so I'm glad you didn't have to experience that.
Anyway, should we just sleep now? So
You
I
guys
can
don't
make
want
it-
to. You guys don't want to go and send your goods off to get monies?
Oh wait.
Oh,
is
we
that
do
like,
that
I thought-
now?
Yeah,
We do
because
that now?
it's gonna take
Oh.
it's gonna take a while to make money, man.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Jamie was like, "Come see me at the storefront, and I can get you some money by tomorrow."
Okay.
Uh,
Dummy head.
well, how about we pawn off some of the stuff we collected in that dungeon? See what we can get for it, huh?
Might as well. Let's go.
Alrighty, Tiny. Let's get to it.
The two get up and start to head over to the storefront.
So as you open the lodging door, you can see Puko approaching the lodge, rubbing her eyes at both of her long, slithering fine arms. She takes notice of you lot and approaches Maven. Hey, thank you for your help down there. There are a lot of things I wonder about what's with the temple being absorbed into the sacred tome.
No problem. Yeah, it's certainly something. I don't know how did it exactly all go into the tome itself.
She kind of raises her arms in a shrug. Speaking of the sacred tome, I decided to pass it off to Miss Jamie for now. You know, she's a curator for strange items that you'd never thought would be used for. I was able to make a little bit of candy monies off of some of the nasty lizard scales and skins we found down there. At this moment, you can see her tremble in excitement, and her eyes kind of gloss over, like hard candies. As she says this.
Oh. Sure.
There's a lot
Well,
we
I'm
don't...
glad some.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm glad something came out of all of this.
There's a lot we don't understand about that book, why it was created, who created it, what it's meant to be used for, and more or less who should rightly own it. Uncle Grim and Jamie will keep in contact about it.
Yeah, it's good to know about seeing how powerful that book is. It's good to know what it the backstory behind it.
And then Puko's like, yeah, between you two and me, I don't really trust the squid.
Oh, Ding isn't that bad. Sure, her priorities may be a bit questionable, but I guess she's only got so much to look forward to.
And then Puko puts her fingers on her chin. He's like, you know what? You're right. This is just the first impression. Oh, and when you go to the storefront, can you pass this off to her for me? And she raises up the decrepit Sylphid doll you found in the well. It somehow kind of fell through the cracks, but that was one of the key items that you found.
Oh.
Oh.
Sure.
Anyway, there's a lot of thinking and stuff to do, so I'm gonna go sleepy. That tunnel was a lot more excitement than I wanted out of one day.
Yeah, you go get some rest, little one.
Night night! And then she passes you all by and enters the lodge, and she's dragging a large orange pillow behind her. As she does so.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
And you're not impeded on the rest of the way. So as you all approach the storefront, you can see Marumeru draw a large cart nearby the storefront, and in the front of the cart is the Ragged Girl. And the Ragged Girl's like, wow! Fat cat strong! Strong! And then this Ragged Girl shrieks at the top of her lungs as she flexes her pale, thin arms in the seat, and you can see Marumeru, like, putting the brake on and flexing and pretending that she's pulled it all. So the items that you put in the chat earlier, that's all you want to sell, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And after all this talk, Jamie's like, wow, you guys sure did find a lot down there. Tell me, what was it like? I've heard a little bit from Puko, but she seemed tired. She's small, you know.
Well, Rue certainly had a more different experience than all of us, so would you like to tell us?
Rue kind of angrily blushes at the mention of this. Well, I guess you could say it was just as bad as you might think it was. Kobolds lingering everywhere among some other more strange things. Dean got ate by a giant frog. That was pretty interesting.
Jamie laughs as she hears this.
It was a really big frog.
There were very many big frogs. In fact, I'm a bit scared at how frogs could have gotten that big.
And as you mentioned this, she's like... she snorts when she laughs.
Amazing.
Love it.
Well, over time, I'm sure we can own some more of your skills. As I said earlier, you are no normal lot. And I'm sure you can tell that none of us are quite normal either. The reason why we're in this enclosed space in Birchback Burrow is because the world can be a pretty dangerous place. And in a couple days, we would like to introduce you to a little bit more of the world. Birchback Burrow is the little area that you'll be able to be safe from persecution, because I'm pretty sure the first time you go out into the open, you might get some weird looks. Don't take it personally, we don't see smooth skins every day. So, we don't know what's going to happen, but we have an obligation to keep you in an area where you'll stay safe, to where you can own your skills more. And especially for the magically tuned of you, you're especially going to need to know how the ether works. Like you. And then she points toward Rue. Do you feel like the moment you stepped into Clemmacia that you could not control your magic nearly as much or as effectively as you once were able to?
Rue kind of like crosses her arms and looks at her feet. Well, she like mumbles, yeah, actually.
And Jamie like taps her fingers on the counter and is like, well, that's normal for outsiders. Sometimes we even call the most powerful of wizards from different planes, and they find themselves extremely restricted to the most rudimentary spells. It's the protective ward that the Fae put on this realm, and I'm sorry that you have to experience it in this way.
Well, that makes me feel a bit better, at least.
Yeah. So it's just best that you play carefully and you play your cards intelligently, because with giant frogs eating people, who knows what's in here for tomorrow. Clemmacia tends to be a place...
Hopefully not more giant frogs.
Yeah. Clemmacia tends to be a place where dreams and nightmares tend to come to life sometimes.
Oh, well, that sounds welcoming.
Boy, dreams and nightmares, huh?
Anyway, so this is all that you two want to sell, yes?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Well, I'm going to take a 10% consultation fee once we get the sales. There's a good chance that we'll be able to sell them for a higher value, so you probably won't even notice the 10% gone. Oh, Miss Meru! And then Marumiru comes around the corner, and she picks up the 2 bags with each of your names on it, and she loads it into the cart. It's like, hey y'all, looks like you found quite a lot down there. I'm sorry I couldn't come with you.
It's fine. Don't worry. It's okay.
Trust me, you have nothing to be sorry for.
After they told me about all them nasties down there, I just wanted to go for a giant brawl. I haven't had action in such a long time. Just the taste of knuckle to jaw really makes me want to go at it again. But, you know, the moon's already high in the sky, and I'm going to take this little one to Oversized Overpass and get her a little acquainted with the locals. And then she kind of leans in towards you and says, besides, I think she needs a new set of clothes. Wearing moss is tacky. Because as you remember, like, what she's wearing is basically a dress that's, like, made from moss.
Oh.
So... And then Marumiru is also like, by the way, did she ever tell you her name? I'm kind of afraid to ask.
I honestly don't think so. Did she ever tell you?
I don't think I ever caught it.
Miss Jamie, did she ever tell you her name? He's like, nope, haven't asked. And then Marumiru's like, huh, well, you know what? I'll figure it out along the way. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll all be doing something around here. Every couple days we tend to just kind of do our own thing. Some of us like to do work. Some of us like to, and then Jamie's like, wrestle. And then Marumiru's like, yeah, wrestle.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I wonder who that would be.
And then Marumiru rubs her hands together and she's like, I can't wait to find out.
Maven looks at Maru kind of scared, but also like taken back.
Rue shivers, remembering when she punched her in the chin, left a bruise. Oh yeah, I can't wait.
What with all these magic-y types hanging around, us martial folk gotta stick together close. Like, we have to put forth a lot more effort to meld the elements in our favor, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand that.
And then at this moment, she kind of steps beneath the cart that she drew, and it's the way the cart is. It's a simple cart with simple wheels, but Marumiru is the pulling force that's pushing it. It's kind of like a horse-drawn sleigh, except it's person-sized.
Makes sense.
And then Marumiru and the Ragged Girl already... You can see that they, like, fist bump before she goes, so you can see they've already made a bit of a bond together.
Aw. That's adorable.
And as you guys watch them go, Jamie's like, well, stop by first thing tomorrow morning when you wake up, and Marumiru should be back from town with the money that you gained. Anyway, as you were, sorry to interrupt.
No problem. Have a good night, Jamie.
You too,
Don't let
Sir
any
Maven.
giant toad. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine, go ahead.
Don't let any giant toads bite.
And then Jamie flips a coin onto her forepaw finger and spins it. She's like, oh, don't worry. I will not.
Amazing.
So cryptic, I love it.
I love her.
It's great.
Alright, so you guys can go to bed if you want.
Do the bid.
Go to bed.
Time for beddy.
Time for bed. So, are you ready to be put on the spot?
Oh boy.
Oh no.
So, given your first day in Clemmacia and how much was, like, compacted into it, do each of your characters have a dream that you can think of?
A dream.
Yeah, a dream that you feel like they'd remember. Would it be a bad dream? Would it be a good dream? Would it be a dream from their past? Just kind of stream of consciousness for flavor, really.
Hmm.
Can you give us like a specific context?
I mean, like, you were just in a new world, you're away from home. Some of you guys probably, like, had your lives flash before your eyes, so how would that affect the quality of your sleep? Would you have visions based on, like, stuff that happened? Like, if you felt betrayed, if you felt glorious, do you miss home? Like, that's what dreams are, is they're,
There's visions of.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're kind of a good vision of your psyche.
Okay. That actually helps.
Yeah. So, if you don't feel like your character remembers their dream, you can just do a hard pass. This is just an optional flavor thing.
I'm gonna say Rue probably had a bad dream. Well, maybe. I'm sorry if I don't know how to word this, so I'm just gonna speak in general terms.
Okay.
Rue probably had a bad dream. Not inherently bad, but when she would awake, she would definitely feel like under the weather. Just visions and like memories of remarks of her being weak, of her being like having visions of grandeur with what she wanted to accomplish in her world. And among that, visions of her friends who actually respected her and how secure she felt. And when she wakes up, it really puts into perspective like how alone she is, and now she doesn't really have the protection of her rank behind her. And so it makes her feel like, as much as she didn't like being royalty, it definitely makes her feel less safe than she would at home.
Make sense. What about you, Maven?
I was thinking for Maven, it would wake up he'd be waking up in a cold sweat from remembering about his past and like trying to run away from the kingdom, and if his father finds him and like he has a bad dream where his father ends up finding him and trying to murder Maven. That's what I was thinking. Like nothing too crazy, but like, yeah.
Daddy issues are crazy.
Daddy issues are pretty crazy.
They are crazy. So, do you feel like your characters will wake up at the same time? Or around the same time?
I would say around the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you prefer a time to wake up? This doesn't affect anything, I'm really just asking for flavor's sake.
I want to say, like, just as the sun is rising.
Just as the sun is rising. Okay. So, I hope that AC's not super loud. Let me turn off. Turn on.
Turn up.
That's better. It's also... Hello? It's fucking hot outside. Turn... Yeah, it's better. Anyway, I've got Audacity if my AC's going... So...
Going...
So, let's see what the weather's like. Okay, not bad. I actually made a table for weather!
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
So, as you wake up, you can hear the birds chirping, and you can tell that air is slightly humid. As you look outside of the lodge, you can see that the sun is coming up, and it's pretty cloudy. Like, you can see bits of the blue sky as the sun's coming up. Like, you know how the morning's really patchy and there's a whole lot of clouds at first, but they slowly begin to thin and go away?
Yeah.
That's what's happening. So the both of you, when you wake up, you notice that the only fauna and flora that are in here is Puko. Puko is still asleep. Literally everyone else is not in the lodge. Except for Ding. Ding is there too. Ding asleep.
Ding is just fast asleep.
I'm in good sleep.
Ding have greed-fueled dreams.
No me.
You guys gonna roleplay or what?
No. Excuse me. Rue kind of what? I figured.
Oh,
I figured. Okay. Understandable.
I was like just sitting here. I was like I counted.
Twiddling your thumbs.
I counted 20, and I'm like, guys gonna roleplay or what?
Thank you. Maybe you should shorten that to like 10 or 15.
Yeah. Because
Alright.
I'm trying to teach the whole thing of if I haven't been speaking.
Like overthinking.
Yeah, like if I haven't been speaking for a while, I don't prompt you. That's your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of me's overthinking. So.
Mhm. Rue is like kind of drowsy, and she kind of sighs heavily at the remnants of the feeling that her dream has left in her conscience, and she like wraps herself in her blanket.
Maven darting his eyes like wide open, like leans up, and when he realizes he's awake, he sighs and lays back down, just knowing that he's safe.
Rue looks over at Maven, raising an eyebrow. Hey, you alright?
Maven, he rubs his eyes a bit, still tired a little bit, but he drowsily says, "Yeah, rough dream."
You too, huh? Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, it happens every now and then, but believe me, I'm better off here than literally anywhere else.
Hey, if you don't mind, you want to tell me what that means? Where do you come from?
Well, to put a long story short, I came from a kingdom where I was a prince, and my father really was the complete opposite of me. He wanted to kill everyone no matter what. He didn't believe in diplomacy. He just wanted to kill. And
Oh,
if I didn't leave, he would have killed me. So, yeah.
Rue kind of like somberly laughs. Man, do I feel that. So, looks like we're both royalty stuck in a real hot pot, huh?
You could say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I get what you mean. Though I guess my dad, he cares about me, but he doesn't really see things the way I do. And neither do my people, which is why, well, I really wasn't the hottest girl, so to speak, in hell, despite me being the heiress to the throne. People always told me that I was weak, that I was just hiding behind my title. And I told them one day I was going to prove them wrong. It really made me want to run away. But to be honest, now that I have, in a weird way, I still feel weird.
Like you kind of want to go back, right?
Yeah. I guess no matter what, you can't cure homesickness.
Yeah. That's... I've been feeling like that a bit too, but if I do go back, it's a death sentence.
Rue kind of like tries to be a bit positive, flashing Maven a smile. Hey, you're really impressive from what I've seen so far. I can tell you've got big things ahead of you. You've got this, okay?
Maven smiles a bit. You're just trying to cheer me up.
No,
It's working.
I'm serious. It's working. Oh, my heart! My heart! Oh no! That's the spirit, bud. That's what I love to see. Now come on, today's another day. And this time, we're gonna make it great, okay?
Maven shakes his head, slowly getting out of bed. Then let's do it.
Now that's what I like to hear. Let's get to it.
We should probably talk with Jamie, see if she has our money.
Oh yeah. Let's check out those spoils, huh?
Hell yeah.
And alright. Rue and Maven wake themselves up and carefully make their way out of the lodge as to not wake anybody else, that being Ding and Puko, to go check out Jamie's storefront.
Okay, and as you approach, you can see Jamie with one of those giant mugs of coffee. And she's kind of just counting away at an abacus. She's like, "Oh! Good morning! I didn't expect you awake until Puko was awake."
It was a rough night. Don't worry about it, though. We'll be fine.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant sleep, but it was sleep nonetheless. So Jamie, what, did Mara ever come back?
And then she's like, "Oh yeah, she just got back." And as you look over to the right, you can see the cart kind of drawn clumsily, like the brake's not even put on, so she just tipped it on its side so it wouldn't roll.
A very Mara thing to do.
After all, today was the donut day at the bakery, so they wanted to rush back to Birchback Burrow as soon as possible and get into it. There's tea, coffee, and donuts over in the dining hall. Feel free to serve yourselves, and feel free to eat out of the dining hall if you don't want to. We typically don't eat together all of the time, only some of the time. Typically lunchtime is our time to eat together.
Huh.
So, in spoils, Rue, you gain 2 silver pieces, 9 electrum pieces, and 8 gold pieces, and Maven, you gain 9 silver pieces, 9 electrum pieces, and 22 gold pieces.
Hell yeah.
And then Jamie speaks up and says, "So, Maven, where did you find those crystals?"
From what I remember, I found them in I think it was the first layer of the cavern. When we were fighting all the kobolds and the gnolls.
And what was it that you did to get them? Because crystals are something that we thought for the longest time only Fonican could produce. Observe. And after a moment, she gets a comb, and she combs her curly black hair, and you can see, like, as there are small bits of rock that come together out of her hair and her fur, and it forms a lightning crystal. You see, when Fonican and Florican exist in the realm for long enough, we build up a residue of crystal, and if you don't groom yourself for a particularly long period of time, you might find yourself with a crystal growing on your shoulder or so forth. So that's how we get crystals around here. How did Outerlanders come to be with crystals?
Well, I found them when we were down there.
And
So,
Jamie kind of taps her chin for a second, and then she leans in. "Did you maybe find it when you killed something?"
yeah.
And then she leans back, and she's like, "It's okay. They weren't people. As long as they're not people, that's all that matters." And then she leans forward again, and she says, "If they are people, we don't talk about it."
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Rue kind of takes a step back, a bit disturbed. Ugh.
Something I forgot to mention to the both of you yesterday when you were here. I'm sure it's been mentioned, but I'm a curator of items, so if you find something that you don't quite know the use for, for a small fee, I can identify it for you. If you've come across something that has magical properties and you're just unsure of what it does, I might be able to find something out about it.
Rue perks up. Hey, wait, that reminds me. She kind of digs through her bag and pulls out the unidentified bangles she found before reaching Birchback Burrow. Could you identify these for me?
Okay, just one moment. And you can see that she pulls up a magnifier from behind the counter. And she holds the item beneath these two. You can kind of see her eyes widen. It's like, are these the same? No. They can't be.
Rue kind of leans forward.
Well, funny story. Before the whole ankle snapping thing, I used to travel with a strange band of characters, and one of them was I couldn't tell if they were a magic user or a incompetent ranger, because they wore robes, had one eye, and shot a crossbow, and they could barely hit the broadside of a barn with it. She wore bangles just like these. I remember we found them when we went into a goblin temple. I don't know if these are the...
Temple.
Yeah, there were just some goblins that had taken up residence in a paladin's temple from days past.
Huh.
And then you can see Jamie kind of put it on her wrist and look at it. And then she takes it off. She's like, okay. Well, I'm going to tell you two things about this. I'm going to tell you how much it's worth first, and I'll tell you what it does second. So she kind of puts them down and pushes them around over the counter to you again. And she says, these bangles in their current state could be worth 99 gold pieces.
Jeez.
Oh.
I could tell you what it does, unless you'd rather take the money.
If you don't mind, I'd rather like to know what they do before I decide.
Okay. So, when you wear these, your body becomes slightly more rigid. It's especially useful for magic users that don't wear certain parts of armor. Mechanically, these are bracers of defense, and they increase your AC by 2 when you're not wearing a shield or armor.
Ooh.
It might be good for you.
Rue's face lights up hearing this. Are you serious?
Jamie nods her head, yep. The only bad part of this is they look to be a little ripped up, and they probably won't last much longer if you decide to use them. That's why I gave you the quote that I did. I have no clue how long they'd last. We don't have an enchanter or anyone that's special with magic items, so they could last a week. They could last a few days. All I know is when it breaks, it's gone. So the choice is yours if you'd rather take them and keep them, or if you'd rather give me some time and see if I can get you most of the appraisal price.
Well, it's up to you, Rue. What do you want to do?
Rue puts her finger to her chin and thought, It's actually a really hard choice. You know what? How about you get them appraised? I think
Okay. Very good. And then Jamie says, I will take 10 gold from that for the identify, and I will come back to you when we have a buyer. There's a good chance we could probably sell this for much more than it's worth. I could probably use some magic to make it look more valuable, make it look a little less worn, and we can get you some more money. And then Jamie puts it behind the counter in a box. And then she puts her paw pads together and she says, don't let anyone fool you around here. Some of us are more perceptive and deceptive than we seem.
Oh yeah, I definitely could have figured that out.
Yeah, it wasn't really hard to catch that.
And Jamie nods her head and is like, you did a good thing by agreeing to appraise this, because, seriously, I don't know how long these things are going to last. I'd rather you not be the sucker that has them break at a crucial time.
Oh yeah, I definitely know a lot about that, especially from yesterday.
There's a reason why we send Miss Marumeru into town. It's because she has an incredible charisma with the townspeople, and people know that if they want to throw hands, they probably won't last long.
Oh yeah, now that we definitely know.
So that makes her the ideal candidate to go over to the auction house and quite possibly deter fights. So we've already sent her to town. I know we're not traveling again today. Within the next day will probably be our next trip to town. So don't find me, I'll find you. Okay?
Will do.
Okay, I have to make a note here. Also remove those braces from your character sheet.
Will do.
There we go. Alright. And then Jamie's like, well, Maven, what about you?
Well, I did get this pickaxe that I had found down there that I'm kind of curious about, if you know anything about it.
And she's like, okay, lay it on the counter and let me see it.
He lays down the mithril pickaxe to show Jamie.
As you lay it down, you notice that the sacred tome is laying within a few feet of it on the other side of the counter. You can see them both glow a little bit. And you see Jamie's kind of eyebrow go up for a second. And then she manually reaches up to kind of pull it down to look like she's not like super interested in what's going on. And she's like, tell you what, it's going to be 10 gold to identify this. But I'll waive the fee this time. I'm genuinely interested.
Oh, okay.
So she pulls up the identifying glass that she had, and she looks through it up and down. And she's like, so tell me more about this. Where did you find this? What did you find this next to?
Well, when we had originally found it, Ding had found it, and it was next to a kobold who was, I believe, turned to stone, right?
Yeah. Wait, no. We
Was
found
it?
it next to... We found it in... Oh, I'm sorry. We found it in the grasp of a dead Florican? The one like the ragged girl. Blue hair and all. It was glowing, and when Ding grabbed it, she turned to stone.
You can hear Jamie go... when you say the turn to stone part.
Honestly rude.
And Jamie's like, it doesn't surprise me. I was once like the little squid, but
Yes.
anyway, what you have here is what we like to call a curio of Clemmacia. This is no ordinary pickaxe. Given the materials made from it and the properties it has, this is not a normal item. You've probably used it in comparison to a regular pickaxe and noticed significant effect differences, have you not?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
And it's at this
Totally.
it's at this moment that you realize that every other pickaxe that you found in that cave fell to pieces.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if you find an item like this, this is basically a magic item that's been passed down through generations. Be sure you don't lose stuff like this, because it could either, one, be worth quite a lot of money, and two, it could be bad in the wrong hands.
Hmm.
Just like that tome, right?
Jamie kind of looks over toward it and she's like, we don't really know a whole lot about it yet. Hopefully we'll learn some more in the coming days about the tome.
There's one thing I think you should know. I definitely think it'd be bad in the wrong hands.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Jamie pushes the pickaxe back across the table and she's like, free of charge, I was just curious. And she's also like, tell me, what do you think of this squid that came with you?
I mean...
Squid? You mean Ding?
That's the one.
Well, I've barely gotten to be acquainted with her, but she seems okay.
She's alright. I've told Puku before, her priorities seem a bit questionable, but I'm sure there must be a reason. I don't know much about her, but I don't know. I just get these vibes off of her.
And Jamie's like, I do too. And then she kind of pulls the tome over and casually opens it. And she is open to the pages with Puko's handwriting. Neither of you can see it because it's that script that keeps changing, but
yeah, she
can read Sylvan and write Sylvan. I've been reading through this tome here. There are a lot of very morbid wishes that I wish to not repeat. But yeah. I surmise that you have gotten a little intimate with this book. The wishes are innocent enough. I didn't dare ask questions about why one had phlegm in their throat and the other was an incandescent light bulb. I dare not ask questions. I'm glad to see that you are both speaking and illuminating normally again. It's good to have you back. I'm glad I could look at you again, Sir Maven.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it hurt, but yeah.
But little Puko had this book when you all came up out of the reservoir. Have you noticed anything strange about Miss Ding when this tome was in her presence?
She seemed kind of... Didn't she not seem kind of more down than she usually was?
Hey, now that you mention it, yeah.
I mean, from what we've been told, with all the morbid stuff that was in there, that's probably the reason why. When she read all of it, I'm sure it would take a toll out of anyone.
Yeah, tell me about it. I've lived my entire life surrounded by morbid things, but I just kind of got used to it. Ding, though, I'm not sure if that's something she's used to.
Well, I know I've said some things about Miss Ding that are a little questionable at first, and we've only had our first impressions of another just a day ago. But where is she?
I think she's still asleep.
In the lodge with Puko.
So she hasn't awoken, and neither has Puko since getting in touch with the book directly. Interesting. You can see Jamie kind of like twirl one of her bangs around her finger as she says this. Because I was looking through this book, and two of the wishes that are written in here, and both of you two's names, makes perfect sense. This is why I didn't bother to ask, because I already know.
Yeah.
And I noticed that Miss Ding likes fish, so we're probably going to have to find an export on fish. You guys see her put her tongue out.
Maven kind of looks at him like, what's wrong with fish? There's nothing wrong with it.
You're kind of like pats him on the back.
And then Jamie's like, so, in the time, I know you Outlanders can't write Sylvan. More or less, you probably can't even read this right now, as the text is like just changing every half second.
It's just nope.
Okay, so before I send you off to enjoy breakfast, do you remember how many wishes that you wrote into this book, that Miss Puko wrote into this book yesterday?
Well, technically,
As far as I remember,
it was 4.
I
Four?
think it was 3.
No, because remember, she gave the one for me, for you, the one for Fish,
And for the high
and
Oh,
for
the high priestess.
priestess. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he's
Priest-
right. 4.
Priestess. So is this why we don't have a kobold infestation anymore? Even Sir Grimm told me that the corpses that were brought to him are no longer there. It's as if they evaporated.
yeah.
That definitely seems like a likely reason. I mean,
Okay.
it sucked up the whole underground.
We practically killed someone all those kobolds worshipped. So
Jamie puts her hands on her chin. She's like, well, it will probably hurt you to know that Kotolmak is not the one that you killed. You merely killed a priestess, so if you're one to see short, scaly friends in the world, you might have a name for yourself, so just be cautious, okay? Kobolds are like cockroaches. You see one, there's 30 that you don't see.
that's good to know.
That makes a lot of sense in retrospect.
Thankfully, kobolds are pitiful and weak and cowardly, and as long as you're in the sunlight, you should have no issues.
They're good with rocks, though.
It's when you don't see the kobolds that they become an issue.
Well, hopefully we won't encounter many.
Right on. Anyway, pray tell, you two go enjoy a breakfast. I'm sorry for keeping you here so long. You see her close the sacred tome and push it to the side again. I'll be keeping an eye on this tome, so if there is at any time you feel like you need someone to write in it for whatever reason, I'll be the judge of whether you should or shouldn't do that. None of us really understand the book, but you seem to be alive and well. We have 2 little ones. That scared the shit out of me.
I'm sorry.
That scared the piss out of me.
I think now would be a good time for a short break, I guess. Assuming.
My mom was calling me. I'm so sorry.
That's fine, dude. Don't worry about it.
Gosh.
Let's see what our timer's at right now. Oh, not bad. We're only got like an hour left on the clock. Ah! Yeah, I really don't think we're gonna get to the white elephant thing today, which is good because I want Ding to be part of that so bad.
Yeah. Well, we're on a break now. I get to munch and crunch.
Hey, I'm still full, dude.
I haven't eaten anything today. All I have is my snacks.
I ate a giant hamburger yesterday that was like 1,300 calories, and I didn't eat the rest of the day, and I'm glad I did because like I forget that your body consumes a lot of energy to try and stay cool. Because when I woke up, I was like starving to death. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Ha.
Dude, that sounds so fucking good. Like a huge burger.
I had burger yesterday, and I had pizza today.
God, I want some garlic nuts. The thing that sucks though is that the place I normally it's like hit or miss. Like sometimes they're alright, you know, they're an alright size, but sometimes I'll order them and some of them are like the size of a pea. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
This is not the garlic knot, this is garlic pea.
This is garlic dot, not garlic knot. What is this? And you pay like $6 for it too. It's like, come on. I'm gonna pay $6 for an appetizer. At least give me some decent sized ones. Please. Please, no garlic dots. Only knots. Yeah, not VCing on my laptop is strange, but honestly, it's not that bad. I think I might just do this for the rest of the time. I think it may be better.
Better.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine, dude.
It's alright,
Okay.
dog.
Yeah.
Took a short break.
Okay. She was just telling me like she was gonna go for the day, so no more interruptions on my end.
Yeah,
good.
free. Does anyone need to jump up, use the bathroom, get a drink or anything while we're on the short break?
I'm good.
No?
I'm just munching and crunching.
Okay.
Just tell me when you're ready to start again, and I'll
I'm
put
ready.
this chip away.
I'm ready at any time. Feel free to eat some more. A little bit. Because I know you haven't eaten yet.
Hold on, okay. Let me drink my anxiety away.
Let me just drink my angst away. That's the one thing about my laptop. You don't hear me chew my chips as much. But with my phone, my icon lights up, and I can only imagine you just hear fucking just digging away at the fucking bag.
It's not that bad.
It ain't that bad.
Chippy.
Yummy.
Okay. Some chips are so fucking good.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Yeah, but I'm thinking with the way things work out today, when we finish off this day at the end of the long rest, then we'll stop. Because I do want Ding to be part of the white elephant bit that we have going. It's going to be funny. I want to tell you some of the stuff I put in the list, but I can't.
Is there a short
Spoilers.
sword?
I have to keep secrets.
Is there a sword?
I have to keep
Maven
secrets.
gets his
I want my
sword.
sword.
Give me back my sword.
Okay.
I lost it in a tragic sword
lost it.
losing accident.
Okay, so I forget what I was saying. Like that threw me off so hard. That scared the
I'm
shit
so
out of me.
sorry.
It legitimately scared the piss out of me. I'm like, what?
I lost my mom. I'm so
It's
sorry.
like when someone walks in your room, they don't talk in an inside volume. They're like yelling almost to try and.
She was yelling.
Yeah.
She was
That's
yelling.
fucking Hispanic parents in a nutshell. They just scream all the
That's
time.
legit. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you
Like,
like
talk
jump?
normal.
Did you just go like ah? Would you like
I
it?
didn't jump. I'm used to it. That's the thing.
My parents scare the shit out of me sometimes when they do that. Like legitimately. Okay.
Dude, my dad is the worst about that. Like, one time when I was muted in BC, I was like, stop. You know, I'm talking with my friends. Go away. You know, stop being intrusive. And he tried to scream to you guys. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like, I'm glad Discord has a mute option, because that is the... He does that. He does that shit. It's so fucking annoying. Ugh. Just makes me mad thinking about it. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Big Grinch.
Now I remember where I was at. Jamie's like, any road. I'm sorry I kept you here so long. Feel free to go to the dinner hall and serve yourselves. I'm sure you're going to find Miss Marumeru there, given the haste that she took to park the cart. And you can kind of see her grit her teeth as she's saying this.
You can tell I've only known her for a day. She seems like the one to eat all the food.
And then Jamie's like, if she likes you enough, she'll share.
Good to know.
Hopefully we've made a good first impression then. I wouldn't want to be on the business end of her fists once more.
And then Jamie kind of shrugs. He's like, usually if you're on the business end of her fist, you're usually in a good place.
Oh. Well, that's good to know, I guess. Well, Maven, how about we go scoop up some donuts before she gets a chance to eat the entire table?
I can certainly go for some tea right now too, so let's do it.
Okay.
Alright.
And you head into the dining hall, and sure enough, at the head of the table, you see Marumeru, and there's just boxes and boxes of donuts open on the table. And there are still lots of them left. Not even one half of one of the 4 boxes are gone.
Rue lets out a small sigh. Oh, thank goodness we won't be going hungry today.
And you also notice the ragged girl who's no longer dressed in a blue moss anymore. She's dressed in a brown cloak, and then she also has like very baggy silken pants on with bare feet, and the bottoms of the pants are kind of fabric closed. And then you notice that she doesn't seem like she's actually a little girl. It seems like she might be the age of 14 because you can see her navel, and she's kind of wearing a top to cover her small developing bosoms.
Good morning, everybody. How's the food today?
Marmair's like, good, I took little Belili over my favorite donut place.
Belili?
And then the regular girl's like, yes, me name Belili. Fat cat say funny word. What was word? And the Maro said, belly. I said my belly. and then Belili's like, me laugh long time. Me like that word. And then Fat cat asked, what is name? I do not have name. So Fat cat gave me name. I giggle every time my name is say. Belili.
Oh.
My heart.
And you can see Belili eating a donut with some chocolate frosting on it, and you can see Maramiru with like a donut in each hand.
Oh, mind if we take a seat and join you?
Go right ahead, I got enough for everybody. By the way, you haven't seen the squid, have you? I got a score to settle.
Rue looks over at Maven. You think we should tell her?
No. I don't want the little one to get her ass kicked.
Fair. You are a very merciful person.
She didn't do anything to me, so.
And then Marmir's like, now listen, I'm not one to fight too unfairly. I might have got the gumption to have the initiative, but I'm not going to donkey punch someone while they're sleeping. That's just not fair.
He kind of lets out a little sigh. Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah, she's fast asleep.
She's deep asleep. I'm not sure when she'll be up.
And then Marmir shrugs and says, well, more donut for me! And she scoops out 2 more donuts.
Fucking mood.
Haven shakes his head and smiles a bit as he goes and grabs a donut for himself.
Rue, on the other hand, grabs 2 donuts and just starts taking a bite out of each of them.
Donates.
Oh, so good. It's been forever since I had a baked treat.
Same. Just delicious.
Now, I like Jamie's cooking, but she can't beat a good old fatty donut.
I'll cheers to that.
And then Believe's like, Fat Cat's big. How Fat Cat gets so big and strong? And then Maramir's like, well, I ate a lot of donuts.
Donuts.
Understandable. They only increase her power.
Oh.
Anyway, I've learned that this little one's quite feisty. So I don't think I'm going to need to be picking on you guys unfairly no more. But if you have a desire to run some laps or throw some hands or something, we'll be over in the sparring area.
Okay. It's good to know.
Today's kind of our free day, so we just get to catch up when we want to. There's not really a whole lot of duties to do. We typically only work real hard 4 days of the week, and then we have each day in between off.
Oh, that's
good to know.
Schedule.
I mean, you have to remember, at this point, we're kind of like I'm not really so much like a courier. There are some days where I like to go to the local tavern and get a job and just beat down a lot of small green people because they are picking on people. Jobs like that pay real good.
Small green people? Rue kind of like widens her eyes a bit.
You know, gamblings.
Oh, thank goodness.
What did you mean by? What did you think, Rue? What do you think about small green people?
Rue kind of looks up at Maven, furrowing her brows a bit. What did you think I meant?
I thought you meant goblins. I thought that was kind of obvious.
There's a reason them goblins are wearing blue cloth suits now. I broke all them noses so they're too afraid to not wear a mask when they're out in the sunlight.
Rue kind of like graces her hand over her little button nose. That's Anyway, that sounds very fun. So Maven, what were you thinking of doing today?
I mean, what sounds good to you? I don't really honestly know what to do today.
I'll honestly go ahead and give you a little choice in VC. So the way this works mechanically is you get to choose 2 activities. You do one until lunchtime, you do one till dinner time. And you don't have to go to the same one, you can split. Also, if you don't want to do the same thing twice, you can pick one activity at the beginning and one later. Or if you just don't want to double down and do the thing the entire time, you can do that. But if you want to both go to the same place, you can do that too. It's up to you. Oh, actually, I made a small error. Allow me to correct myself. You've already been there and done that.
The storefront?
Yeah.
There you go, that's better.
Okay.
Oh.
There we go.
Part of me is actually kind of wanting to go with Maru. Not gonna lie.
I think I might visit Maru later because I want to go to the garden.
That was also another choice of mine too. You know what? Let's just go to the garden then.
All right, let's go to the garden then.
So you're both gonna stay together?
Yeah.
Yep.
Very nice. Okay. So you can see Valili and Maru wave you out as you leave, and you can see Maru's probably on her 9th donut.
Champion.
Legend.
And you head over to the garden where... I'm going to call him Grim from now on, because it seems to be easier to remember. So...
Yeah.
So you go over and you see Grim sharing a donut with his little sylph familiar as she is watering a flower bed. He doesn't really see you approach.
Rue like waves her hand up. Hey, what's going on over here?
Oh, good dawn to both of you! Thank you so much again for bringing Puko back to this one.
Hey, it was no problem. Rue kind of like mumbles to Maven, though in all honesty, I think she's the one who brought us back.
I mean, Maven mumbles back. I mean, I wasn't here for most of this part. I don't think I wasn't really active when you guys first got here. I barely know this guy.
Oh, he's a nice guy. Don't let his absolute size intimidate you.
Yeah, because he is 6'4" and he has really spooky eyes. He also has like a giant 8-inch horn coming out of his forehead.
Yeah, I'm not...
I really need to draw him at some point. I'm so excited to give him an appearance. He looks so cool in my mind.
Same.
I'm just not used to men taller than me.
Oh, I am. And we're
And-
kind of like jokingly winks.
And this one is not used to having 2 cats around this place. One rotund cat is quite enough.
Oh,
Hopefully, the both of you don't get cat hair everywhere.
please.
Tis too late.
Oh. I try to keep myself clean as much as possible.
I think you're pretty clean. And gives him like an okay hand.
Maven blushes, just kind of like shrugging his shoulders. Meh.
So, Grim, what's going on in the garden today? No more violent fungi, I hope.
Not a single trace. I presume you have gone by the storefront.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
We had talked to Jamie earlier.
This one has noticed that the kobolds that were grayed and gone are no longer of this one. It is as if they evaporated.
Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
This is a good sign. It removed the blight that was brought to this one's garden as well.
Yeah, it was certainly something.
Speaking of garden, how's the rest of this place? Because when we first came here, this place was like the only place growing. The other ones were kind of dead.
Oh, fine they are. They are quite fine. And as you look around, you can kind of see the wheat has been harvested and it's in bales, put aside. And you can see that there have been new seeds sown. In all the empty gardens that were there, it's just been wheat, and there's now a little mushroom garden now. It's growing little brown-capped mushrooms, and you recognize these mushroom caps from from Bolili. I can call her by her name now.
Aw.
The unnamed one you brought has brought us some real mushrooms, edible mushrooms. If those do not know, whenever thou art in a forest, thou shalt never eat the brightly colored mushrooms.
Oh yeah, I've heard of something like that before.
Yeah, but those were used as more of a, well, like some would say medicinal in my land. Or just
Well, if you ever try to eat something brightly colored, I'll be sure to remind you.
If thou were to have a death wish, you would eat a bright colored one. They're very highly toxic.
Oh boy.
Highly toxic so that if a forest-born Sporkith were to eat of their own or another's flesh, it would cause a similar state to being berserked and also undead.
No wonder father used those. Makes sense.
However, if thou would see some brown-capped mushrooms, they make for a fine stir-fry, salad, what have you. What this one does in this place is this one exports goods, not to the town, because townspeople tend to be a bit snobby and panache. You should sell the things that you put so much heart and soul into to people that would pay a higher price, so to speak.
So you basically give to those in need, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Aw, that's actually quite sweet.
After all, this is this one's home. This one does not need coin. Has not needed coin for quite a while. I eke out a living on the kindness of others, and I try to return it in kind, but take the opportunities this one gets.
You can certainly respect that a lot.
Any road, what brings you two here?
Well, I just wanted to visit, you know? And I thought, since Maven hasn't really gotten to socialize with everybody yet, I thought it'd be killing two birds with one stone. Get to check out how you're doing, and Maven gets to meet an acquaintance.
Very good.
Maven sticks his hand out for a handshake to Grim. It's
Grim does
certainly
not
a pleasure to
Grim does not understand this motion and does not extend his hand.
No.
Oh.
Maven then puts his hand back and just sighs. It's like, damn it.
This one tends to be a tad out of touch with customs, I must apologize.
It's fine. I'm kind of used to
Don't
it.
worry about it.
As well, this one meant to ask the both of you. Notice anything different about Puko since those ones came back from beneath the ground?
Puko?
And as you turn, you can see that she's pulling up cubes of dirt and soil using the Mold Earth spell at a time. And she's breaking them apart and then putting them back into the ground and just repeating the process feverishly near the well.
That's definitely weird. If you want, we could go check it out for you.
Yeah, we could talk to her if you want.
The choice is yours. A small body like that will get tired in no time.
Well, how about we go strike while the iron is hot, so to speak?
Might as well. Might as well go to the well. Huh.
Now we're off to the well, I guess.
Alright. Hergrim waves you out, and as you go to the well, you can see that Puko has shovels and pickaxes, and she's got several cubes of material lined up, and she doesn't even notice you approach.
I thought
Wait, what? Go ahead.
Rue kind of like whispers to Maven, didn't they say today was a free day? Why is she working so hard?
I can't say I know. I guess she just wanted to do this on her spare time.
Well, how about we find out what this is exactly?
Might as well. Hey, Puko!
And then you can see Puko go, yeah, yeah?
What are you doing? What's going on here?
You can see her, like, wipe at her brow, and then she takes her hat off and hangs it on the handle of a shovel. It's like, well, I had a theory about yesterday. You remember as we were leaving, the temple was coming apart into the sacred tome?
Yes.
Yeah?
What if things that weren't associated with the sacred tome are still left behind?
Oh.
As you know, the wilds in Clemmacia have a tendency to shift around, so anything that might have been lost may be pushed closer to the top, so to speak. There were a lot of things that we didn't deal with, so there's a chance to make a little bit of extra money if we are to find anything. So I've been able to pull the dirt up effortlessly, and as you can see, she puts her hands forward and she pulls up a 5x5 cube of dirt easily. And moves it aside. But it's like, I have one problem. I'm not really strong enough to break these open and see if there's anything in it. And don't step in that hole, please. And you see a 5x5 hole kind of close to it, and it goes down so far that you can't see the bottom.
Oh, Jesus.
This is my way to returning the used loose soil back to the salt of the earth. Ha ha ha.
How long have you
Off the
been
rec-
at this for?
I've been doing this for 10 minutes.
Fucking hell.
10 minutes.
Fucking hell. That's wild.
Anyway, if you guys want to get a pickaxe and break open the ones I've already pulled up, you can keep anything you find inside. I just really want to know what's going on.
Well,
Or
what do
do
you
you?
think, Maven?
Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to doing a bit of mining if you are.
I thought you would have been tired by mining after yesterday.
I mean, it wasn't too hard with the pickaxe I got.
I just broke my pickaxe in a door, and that was it for me.
So against the well, you can see are 2 shovels in good condition sitting there, and there's an extra pick for Rue.
We gonna stay here and mine, Maven?
Do you want to?
Mm, if you want to, I kind of want to go somewhere else.
Uh,
And then Puko's like, "Oh, come on, guys, just a couple rocks, please."
Rue kind of crosses her arms. Well, I guess we could stay for a couple of rocks.
she can't do it all of it herself.
And she's
That's
like, "Yay! Thank you!" And then, after a moment, she pulls up Maven in front of you. She pulls up a cube of dirt. And in front of you, Rue, she pulls up a hard brick of stone.
Oh,
So describe to me which tool you will use for which.
Well, obviously, I'm going to use the shovel.
I'm gonna be using the pickaxe.
Okay, so both of you roll me a d20 and just tell me what you get. Don't add anything.
That's a 16.
I got a 16 too.
Maven?
No.
As you break apart the dirt, in the very center, you hear a metal cling! As you lift the shovel, there's a very familiar short sword in the dirt.
Oh yeah!
Oh my
Woo! I was actually gonna make a joke to Puko, but I forgot about telling Maven if she finds his short sword.
Maven gets excited and grabs his sword from the dirt.
It's quite dirtied and weathered, but it nevertheless is your sword.
Oh my god. I thought
It
Hey,
even
I
has your
it's
lost
your
it.
sword.
It even has your family insignia on its hilt, like it did before.
God, thank you. Thought I lost
Could
it.
use a little polishing, but I'm sure it's as good as ever. A little dirt never hurt anybody.
And then, Rue, when you burst open the rock, you find one very shiny diamond.
Oh, beef.
God damn it.
Rue's
Wow.
eyes like sparkle as she reaches in and grabs it. Oh.
So, do both of you want to break another rock?
I mean, do you, Rue?
Sure.
I mean,
She's got more rocks.
you got a diamond out of it, so who knows what else can be here.
Okay, so
She's fine.
Maven, there is a solid brick of granite before you in Rue. There is a dark, hard, glassy-looking block in front of you. Which tool do you use?
I'll use my mithril pickaxe.
Your pickaxe or a pickaxe?
My pickaxe.
Okay, I'm gonna use a pickaxe.
Okay, roll d20. Let me know what you get.
That's a 13.
Got a 14.
Wow.
Maven,
Hello.
as you break open the block of granite, you find 2 lumps of crude gold.
Ooh.
Yes.
And what'd you get, Mel?
I got a 14.
No matter how hard you swing, you can't seem to break this block.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
You also notice there are 2 more rocks to the right of this, and Puka hasn't been really pulling any more up. She's been kind of filling the extremely dangerous hole that she's made. You want to break one more?
I'll break one more. Yeah.
Okay. So both of them are just gray slated rocks that have some shiny material poking out of each. So... Ooh, okay. So you're gonna both pickaxe it up?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so Maven.
D25. Oh, fuck.
What?
I got a 2.
I got a 6. Hey, we're
So-
all buddies.
So Maven, as you hit this rock, you can tell there was a large wind crystal inside of it, but due to your clumsy nature, you shatter the crystal into dust.
Oh no.
I'm so upset.
In Rue, as you
Uh-huh.
break open the top layer of your stone, you find 6 fire crystals in it.
Oh shit. That's a lot of fire, dog.
You seem to notice that there are quite a lot of red scales still clinging to the sides of it as you break it open.
Ugh. We're kind of grimaces noticing this.
And then Pico's like, "Yay, good job, guys! Anyway, I had a theory. I'm glad that we found something that we encountered yesterday, because I have a theory that the temple might be gone, but everything below it might still be there in the Feywild somewhere. I just hope we don't run into it inside of Birchback Burrow again. I can't handle a day of excitement like that again."
Trust me, I get your point.
Yeah, I'm sure none of us would want to deal with that again.
Anyway, that's what all I wanted. Thank you for helping prove a theory I had. I know it's a little weird to say, but I had a dream about some of the stuff we encountered yesterday, and it being pushed to the surface again. So I just had to know.
Well, I'm glad we could help.
Also, has Dean been asleep since you guys came back yesterday?
Yep,
Yeah.
there is.
I guess her kind sleep more than others.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense.
I hope she had a better dream than us.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you guys aren't feeling very good, I'll be in the apothecary after lunch, which should be coming up here in about 10 minutes. And you seem to notice that the time has gone by either very quickly or you've woken up late, which you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we woke up right as the sun was... what?
it's rising.
Rose. Rose, that's the word. Yeah, we woke up right as the sun arose.
Well, that's a little weird. Huh. I haven't been here digging that long, have I? And you do seem to notice that as you stepped over to the well, the sun is in a much higher position in the sky than it once was.
Huh.
It seems like it's only been like 20 minutes, but there's an indication that everyone else has experienced time differently.
Uh-huh.
That's quite the thing.
Strangely enough, too, is you still feel like as if you've just eaten breakfast, so you're not really hungry for lunch, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Unless you want to eat more. You could totally eat more if you want to.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little small lunch.
Small lunch.
A small.
And then Puka begins to somewhat finish up. She leaves one block out that she's going to investigate later. She's like, "Well, I'm going to be at the apothecary. If there's anything you need, come see me there, okay?"
Okay.
All right.
"Okay, bye!" And then she kind of just skips off on her own. She doesn't really bother to put the tools up, but no one seems bothered.
Maven looks
Oh,
at Ruru.
Maven.
Oh. Go ahead.
You gonna say something?
No, you go ahead.
Well, that's a bit worrisome.
Yeah, it literally just felt like we just had breakfast. Like, do you feel that too, or
Oh yeah, I definitely feel that.
were we really here for that long?
Hmm.
You really don't have much of an indication of the time other than the sun's position in the sky.
Oh, were you thinking of getting lunch?
I mean, we might as well drop in and see how everyone's day has gone so far.
Yeah, you have a good point.
Even
Jamie
if we
did say that's the only time everybody gathers up.
might as well, huh?
Well, even though it feels like we just had breakfast, let's get to lunch.
Yeah.
As you head over to the dining hall, like, literally everyone is there except for Ding.
The sleepy head.
And then as you come in, Jamie has a white apron on, and Grim is holding her up to the stove.
Aw.
Because she's really short. It's like, oh, hey! You guys are just in time for beef stew and cornbread.
Oh boy.
Oh, that sounds great.
Here, if you guys don't want to stay in the meeting hall, you don't have to. Some of them have taken their lunches to go out, and like you can see Marumeru and Balili leaving with their stew, and they're turning the corner to presumably go to the sparring area.
Well, what do you want to do, Rue? Do you want to take our lunch and go?
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like we had breakfast, so maybe we could eat it at another time like that.
That sounds fine.
Is everything okay, you two? If you don't want to eat now, I will leave it simmering on the stove, so you can come get some at any time you want. And don't worry, I've made sure that Marumeru is not going to get any more. The good food we have to share.
Yeah, we're still kind of full from breakfast, so
Well, that's
Yeah.
understandable. Sir Graham, could you put me down, please? And then he's like, certainly. And he places her down. And she's like, well, the bowls and spoons are here. Just leave them there and we'll come back to it. Are you two okay? It seems a little weird. You seem to have been standing by the well for an obscene amount of time just looking at it.
we have?
Looking at it?
Like, how so?
And then Grim speaks up and he's like, yes, ever since you two left the garden, I noticed that you and Puko have just been kind of staring toward the clay bricks of the well.
We weren't staring, we were
We were mining.
through the stuff.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we did notice that you had broken some rocks, but every time we looked, you were just standing still and you had a tool in your hand. Just staring at the well. Thought for a moment if you were thinking of letting that fresh spring water come out.
It certainly. That didn't. We were just mining. It felt like for not even that long.
It felt like a couple of minutes.
Let alone hours.
Very strange. When you came to the garden, it was just a tad after sunrise, and look at it now, it's slight past midday.
There's something going on with that well. Maven shakes his head, just kind of confused. Well, we should probably get going then, should we?
Jamie's
No
like,
use
if you...
bur-
Jamie speaks up and says, if you two are feeling weird about the well, I would suggest not going near it for a while. It was a little strange, but strange is the norm here in Clemmacia.
A little strange seems like an understatement for standing for hours.
Staring at a well.
And then Jamie kind of cocks her head at you as she looks at you and is like, did you forget something down there?
Did we?
Well, I know you forgot your sword, but I don't think we forgot anything else.
And then Jamie's like, nonsense, it's right there.
Yeah, I have my sword.
Well, I can't remember anything else we left behind.
Yeah, I have all my stuff on me, I believe. What do you mean, Jamie?
We're definitely going to have to look into this at some point. This is very strange. I suggest the both of you stay out of the dirt circle that surrounds the well for now. We have other sources for water. Just be cautious, okay?
All right.
Okay.
I'd hate to walk out there and see you both staring agape at a clay well again.
Well, Maven, I think that's enough weird for our schedules today. How about we go somewhere else before we burn more of the day away without us noticing?
Might as well. It's anywhere else besides the well sounds good to me.
Definitely.
So should we go to the sparring area? With
Is that the
Marvin?
only place we can go?
Well, we can go to the apothecary as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
And another place.
And
Mm-hmm.
the tables.
Play tables here. I see Jamie. I want to go to the sparring area with Maru.
Yeah. Let's go talk to Maru.
Let's go
Oh,
talk
boy.
to Maru.
As you turn the corner, you can tell that it's not any time at all for Maramator to eat her food, but Belili is slowly eating at hers. She's kind of picking it out with her fingers, like, hot! Too hot, cannot eat! And then Maramator's like, oh, silly, you need to use a spoon! You need to use this here! And then she kind of holds it up out to her, and just Belili's like, oh! Fat cat, Belili think! And then Belili grabs the spoon with the wrong end and tries to put the handle into the beef to serve herself.
What?
Baby.
Baby.
Literal baby. It's so
She does
cute.
manage to stab the food with the handle and get it in her mouth though, so it's fine.
No. That's adorable.
And unlike the other times, Belili notices you coming, and she's like, "Fat cat, look, visitors, look, look, fat cat, look." And then Maromir turns around, and she's like, "Well, hello."
Hey, what's going on over here, huh?
We're done looking at our reflections in the well now, huh?
Look, we don't want to talk about that.
We've been through this song and dance before.
Understandable. I'd rather not think about it.
So, what are y'all up to?
You know the usual. Just throwing hands with a. My mind is totally blanked.
my God.
It just went boop, like just a tube TV turning off.
Do you mean
The
noose?
yeah, just okay. I got it. You know the usual, just kind of throwing hands and staying in our physical peak. And you actually notice that Maramir's lost a little bit of her belly weight since the last time you saw her.
Hmm.
It's not like a ton, but it's quite a big difference.
Whatever you doing seems to be working, so good on you.
I mean, last night's the first time I've really been able to go to town in probably about a couple months. We've just been living off of old reserves. Thanks to y'all bringing some of that stuff back, we've been able to make some more money, and we've been able to eat a little better. Before y'all two came about, we really have only been eating bread in soup. And bread and soup gets real whole real fast.
What about the beans?
Beans never get old. I like beans.
Hey, Maven.
Yes.
Whatever Maru seems to be doing her, think you might be interested in getting some of that training in?
What you cut out?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You could have cut out for a second, yeah.
Where did I cut out?
I'd like the beginning of what you were saying.
Yeah, I just repeat the whole thing.
Fuck. Hey, Maven. Whatever Maru seems to be doing here seems to be working for her. Think you might want to get in on the training? Could be beneficial.
I'm down to work out. There's no point just sitting around, right?
Yeah.
Better than just apparently staring at a well.
Yeah, don't want to be staring at a punching bag for the next couple of hours.
I don't want to be a punching bag for the next couple of hours either.
You don't stare at the punching bag, you punch it. That's why it's called a punching bag.
Pound.
Well, Maru, a punching bag. Say, Maru, you don't mind us joining you in your training, do you?
Marmer's like rubs her chin. He's like, the both of you at once, huh? This could prove to be a very interesting bout. What do you think, Balili? And then Balili's like, fat cat's throng, fat cat's flighting.
Oh, God.
And then Marmer's like, now, Balili, I've only had to deal with one punching bag at a time. Not two.
He even looks at Rue, concerned.
Rue kind of goes pale. Wait, 2 punching bags?
And then Marmer's like, how about it? You 2 versus me 1.
Rue kind of looks very, very terrified at the notion because she's seen firsthand just how strong Maru is. Well, what do you think, Maven?
I promise I won't bust your lip as bad as I did last time.
Rue kind of like grabs her jaw out of instinct. Wait.
Maven looks at Rue and seeing how scared she is. Well, honestly, it sounds like fun. It's a challenge. And there's 2 of us and only one of Maru, so.
And I'll tell y'all what, if you manage to get me down on one knee, I'm sure that you won't regret the time that was spent. Because as you've heard, I'm a bit of a tough cookie, but I don't think I've dealt with two people that are quite special in the way that y'all are. Usually, monsters and the like and commoners don't really have different abilities and she puts her fingers up in quotations, magic.
Well, I guess it'll be a beneficial thing for all of us if we train together, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, very good. First things first, if you have any sharp weapons, could you please grab a training version? And like as you look over to the side, there is a blunted short sword, and there are blunted daggers, and there are arrows that have sandbags on the tips, so you won't physically actually be shooting them with arrows.
Oh, yeah. Don't want to fucking stab Maru.
Well,
that's fair.
Maven takes all of the training weapons and
yeah. So anything you would normally use will just incapacitate instead of kill. So
Yeah.
training time.
And a roof. If you want to use a whip, there's a rope.
Rope.
It'll burn. It won't like cut because like whips slash.
Yes. All right. You ready? Grab my blunted daggers and my rope. TM.
Any road. I got one thing to tell y'all right now. And she cracks her knuckles. If you hold back, you're gonna be sorry.
Ugh.
David, kind of scared, smiles a bit. Believe me, I'm not holding back this time.
And with that, roll initiative.
Okay.
I am not using this die anymore. That is a nat 1.
Oh no.
Oh no. I got a 13.
Where's Fat
Might
Cat
as well
Sheet?
not even
There it is.
go. Died immediately. Like,
Oh no.
not even to go. Fucking. Damn you. My
Damn
red-
you, dice of...
The red D20 I mainly bought the set for.
Okay, so what was the
Good
next
shape.
number? 13?
13
Yes.
and 1, yeah.
Is 13 with your dex modifier? Or without?
Oh no. It's
So
without.
it's 15.
No, it's 16. My dex is +3, remember?
Oh! And Maven, that means yours is 3.
What? Yeah. It's 3.
Oh,
I'm
poor
mad.
Raven.
Against Maru of all fucking people. I'm gonna
The
die.
worst.
Okay, so what's everyone's HP at? You should be full, by the way. You should have all your
Yeah.
spell slots back. All your spell slots are
Yeah.
back and stuff, so...
13 out of 13. Let's go.
Oh, boy.
14, yeah, 14. Dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Oh, hang on. I gotta ask something real quick. Is what is it? Mage armor still active? Because
It is not,
lasts
because
for-
you've been 8 hours.
all right.
So
That's
you
all I
might-
needed to know.
You might need to know that beforehand. Okay.
Thankfully.
So this is going to be Theater of the Mind. Always assume that you're within range to hit someone.
Got it.
We're not doing
Alright.
attacks of opportunity, because that requires knowing where position is, and in this situation it would be unfair to throw more opportunity
Yeah.
attacks.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, Maru rolled a 15, plus 2, so she's first.
Oh,
Of course. Doesn't
Of
surprise
course.
me.
Okay, so what Marumator is going to do is... She has boxing gloves on, by the way.
oh,
She doesn't have her actual gloves with a key in one of the knuckles this time.
thank fuck.
That's good.
So, Rue,
Oh,
Marumator puts her arm on her shoulder, and you can see her stretching it. And she dashes toward you with blinding speed. Does a 20 hit you?
Jesus
yes.
fucking Christ.
Oh.
So what Marumator does is she jumps toward you and throws a lariat toward you, bringing you to the ground.
Fuck.
And you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Amazing. I'm already at half. It's just started.
And with that, Rue, it's your turn. You're not prone. You just kind of you had the wind knocked out of you.
Ooh.
You can kind of see Marumator stretching her arm and like stepping back a little bit as she watches you stand up.
Ooh. Sweet. I'm gonna cast mage armor.
Okay, so your AC increases to 15 team.
Yep.
Okay, all right, Maven.
Ah.
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna use my short bow on Maru.
You're gonna take a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot at her.
All right, take the shot.
It's a 16 plus proficiency in dex mod. Wait, okay. That's 16.
That should be a 20.
It's 20, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that is a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Shit. Fuck. Wait, no, that's not the right dice. I'm stupid.
It's a D6, dude.
I rolled a d20 too. I'm so mad. I rolled a 22.
Amazing.
That's the worst part.
Oh,
Okay.
bitch.
That's a 5 plus dex mod. That's 7.
Jesus. So you hit her with the training arrow, and it kind of clips her directly in the shoulder, and you can see her kind of rub her palm against it. And then what she's going to do is like, you know what? That hurt. And then you see her eyes to begin to glow.
Oh, Fuck, man, what have you done?
Maven's smile turns into, like, terrified.
After a moment, you see her get on all fours and wiggle her butt, and then she jumps up 35 feet into the air, directly above you, Maven.
Oh no! It's a cat fight now, beach.
It's literally a cat fight.
Meow.
Oh, wow. So, does a 17 hit you?
Yeah, it does.
So what Marumeru does is she comes down hard, 1 foot on each of her shoulders.
Ah!
And this literally pins you down into the dirt with how much force it deals.
Jesus.
And you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
How did I even know? I figured it was going to be 9 as well, too. That's the worst part.
And then she steps off of your shoulders, and you hear the wind move around her foot as she makes her bonus attack against you.
Oh no.
Wait, she made a bonus? What the fuck?
However, it was a 2, she whiffed. Because that was her action.
Damn.
That was her action. Marumeru gets to use bonus actions to make unarmed attacks.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So really, it's not unfair because she gets 2 attacks per round and there are 2 of you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess. That makes sense.
It's
sure.
unfair because it's Maru. She's a fucking tank.
How much damage did you take?
I took 9.
Jesus.
It's literally down to 4 health. I'm bleeding.
Fuck.
So it's at this point. Let me roll another initiative real quick. Okay. It's at this point that Bolili is like, "Hey Kate, do not give up!" And then she casts Healing Word on you and you recover 6 HP.
What the fuck?
Ooh.
Sick. That makes me at
Nice.
10.
It also helps you to kind of pull yourself up out of the dirt.
Maven shakes off the dirt as he gets up. Thank you, Balele.
and then Marumeru's like, Good. It's a good thing she's showing you mercy because I won't.
Oh no.
And I'm not going to
And
show you
now
my
Rue?
CI tomorrow.
Now, Rube, it's your turn.
I'm gonna cast Witch Bolt.
Alright, do it.
Boop. Alright. So that plus my charisma, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, that's a 10.
As you shoot your lightning bolt, it goes stray and it fades in the air as she weaves out of the way.
Fuck!
So sad.
Ooh.
Maven,
Hello.
your turn.
I'm gonna go and do my short sword this time around.
You're going to do a short sword? Go ahead.
That is a fucking 20. Are you serious?
Yes.
That's a nat 20?
Nat
Alright.
20.
Yes.
You catch her by surprise and you poke her directly in the belly with the cylindrical tip, so you roll 2 of your damage dice.
Ooh.
So that's 2d6.
2 of your damage dice, and you just add your bonuses as normal.
That's 5 plus 2. That's another 7.
Oh, rip.
Nice.
The Marumeru is like, oh, that was a good hit. And then what she does is, while she is directly in front of you, she throws a right arm punch toward you, getting a nat 20.
Fucking
Oh my god!
No way!
I rolled 20 against her, you rolled a 20 against me. You know what? That's fair. I'm gonna
Crit
die.
wars, dude.
Crit wars.
Alright, so I'm getting plastic dice, so I have to roll 2. Boop. So, oh no. So
I'm
that's
dead.
4,
Oh.
5, plus 1, plus 2. You take 8 points of damage.
Well, I'm at
Fuck.
2 health now. Jesus Christ.
And
Oh yeah, she has another action too. I forgot.
Marumeru throws her leg up to go between your legs,
No.
Oh.
getting an 18 to hit.
Oh no!
Fucking.
You take 5 points of damage, but instead of falling below 1 health, you fly into the air and backward 20 feet as you hold your groin in pain.
Fuck. Damn, that's painful.
So I'm pretty much dead. Oh shit.
Mario
No,
destroys nuts.
You still have 1 HP.
I know, but still.
Ooh.
And then Maravir is like, Daddy taught me where the weak spot is. You can't trick me.
Oh no, baby, she's exploited your weak spot.
She knows where to hit. She knows where to crit.
You can see Belili kind of walking around the outside toward you, but she doesn't quite make it all the way over to you, Maven. Rue, it's your turn.
I'm gonna cast Firebolt.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright. I got another 10.
As you throw the firebolt, Marumira catches it out of her periphery and she breathes in real hard and just blows very hard, and it blows the fire mote out as it passes toward her in the air. She literally goes and blows it out like a birthday candle.
Ooh. It sucks.
How am I the only one to be able to hit Maru?
This sucks.
Alright, Maven. Half of your movement is gone because you had to stand up from getting kicked on the groin, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Would you like to do anything this turn?
Shit, what can I do? I could probably... Don't I have a... Is there a way I can heal?
Don't you have
I have
the
a
vial?
Flask, yeah.
Yeah, you can use it.
I want to use that.
Alright, so you recover,
So, 1 hit dice and my...
Oh! Yeah, roll a d8, and then add your con.
Excuse me.
Okay. That's 9 fucking things of damage, or 9 things of health.
Okay,
Oh,
so you
yeah.
recover 9 HP.
So it gets me 10 since I was at 1.
Given the circumstances, I will consider that a free action, so if you'd like to take an action, I'm down.
Fuck you, Mar. Short bow.
Alright, go ahead.
Gets another 20.
That's 12 plus dex, that's 14.
Close enough.
As you shoot the arrow, you see it catch. You see her catch it in her left hand.
Fuck!
Damn it!
And Rue,
Oh.
Marumeru spins and flings the arrow at you,
Oh shit.
getting an 18.
Oh my god!
Motherfucker!
So what is the damage on that short bow? A d6.
The d6 plus dex.
So Rue, you take 5 points of damage.
Motherfucker.
I'm sorry.
Ooh, what you done?
It's not my fault.
And then what Marumeru does, she looks toward Maven. She's like, you know, I've got 2 hands for a reason. And then she throws a left punch to your stomach.
Oh no!
And
But you dip out of the way instinctively just in time, because that was not enough.
Oh.
I know your AC, so I'm like, yep, that missed.
Motherfucker.
Alright, Rue, your turn.
Rue just wanted an easy day today. Like, stop bullying my child. Ooh.
this is what happens when you talk to Maru. We're gonna fight.
Oh, Rue,
No.
actually, Belili's like, Poofy, Poofy, do not give up! And she casts Healing Word on you, and you recover 6 HP.
Wonderful. Thank you, Haley.
And then Marumeru is like, now I got the training partner so you guys won't fall in 2 punches. Pretty good, huh?
Wonderful.
Great.
Alright. Let's try this again. I'm going to cast Firebolt.
Alright, do it
Let's
to it.
roll. Alright, this time I've got a 13.
That's not
This is with your bonuses?
With
My
your bonus.
bonuses, because I just added charisma, yeah.
You got charisma and proficiency, which is +2.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
okay.
proficient.
Alright, so that's 15, I guess.
So as you throw this fire mote, Marumeira kicks the air and blows it out. Although you can see it was just shy of beginning to burn the hair on her leg as you did it.
Ooh. Fucking hell.
And then Belili's like, "Fat Cat, you are getting good at dealing with the magic." And she's like, "Yeah, it's like a birthday candle, except violent."
Rue's clearly very flustered. And
All right, Maven, your turn.
Short sword time. I want to fucking stab the fat cat.
All right, you better
I
shoot the
did
kill.
not stab the fat cat.
motherfucker.
That's a 5. Plus that.
So what Marumeira does? She pushes your wrist as you're slinging the sword, and she looks you dead in the eyes. Her eyes glow, and she shouts, "Cross counter!" And she throws a punch directly for your nose.
Oh no.
Completely missing.
Oh god.
Nathan!
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you keep avoiding all her attacks! Ooh. You just wanted an easy day. She keeps getting fucking beat up by everybody.
Cat fight right now, dude.
Ooh.
And now it is Marumeira's turn, and she's not too happy about missing, so she is going to throw a left elbow toward your neck, Maven.
Oh,
god.
no.
And that's gonna.
Does a 20 hit you?
Ooh.
not a net. Not a net.
You don't have
Not
to
a net.
ask me. You know.
No.
You know it
No.
hits me.
So you
No.
take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's not that bad.
And then Rue,
Ooh.
you notice Marumeira look your way, and she spins on one foot and throws a roundhouse kick toward your chest.
Oh, motherfucker.
Does a 19 hit you?
Fucking hell.
Yes. Ooh.
So you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Amazing. Wonderful.
Good thing you got healed by Puko. Or not Puko, that's Balele.
Balele. Ooh.
And then what, you can see Bolili kind of torn at this moment, and she's like, and she wastes her turn trying to deliberate who to help.
Oh no.
It's fine.
So, Rue, it is your turn. I accidentally removed the HP from the wrong person, but you both took the same amount of damage, so...
Yeah.
Amazing. Motherfucker, dude. Big motherfucker.
Marumeira's like, "Don't give up. You can hit me with the fiery things, but feel free to try anything else you got. It's a learning experience for me, too."
Maybe shoots his head.
It's a matter of fucking luck. Alright, I'm gonna use my whip then, I suppose.
Alright, make an attack roll.
I got a 17!
Yay!
Alright,
Ooh.
roll for damage.
Alright, let's check this out. Oh, the fucking lowest dice I have. Wonderful.
It's D4.
D4.
Yep. I got A. So that's... So it's attack bonus plus proficiency, right?
It's your
Yes.
damage.
It's your
No,
damage-
not
it's
damage.
damage and
not your
proficiency.
damage. No,
Or no,
you don't
it's-
add. You
it
don't
should
add
be-
proficiency to damage. It's
it'd
the
be
it's
dex.
the roll plus your dex mod.
Yeah, Dex mod, yeah.
Thanks. So sorry. So that's a 4 because I rolled a 1.
That's why it's good to have higher stats in case you roll minimum. I wrote the wrong number down. I'm a dumb idiot. There we
That's the wrong number.
That's
I
the
gotta
wrong
write this.
number.
I gotta write this number elsewhere. So you lash Marumeira around the arm with the rope whip, and you can kind of see her grab her arm and go, "Ooh, it burns."
Wonderful. The one thing I wouldn't want to burn. Oh, I can't burn her with fire, but I can burn her with a fucking rope. Excellent.
Excellent.
And then
Ooh.
Rue, she kind of stomps up to you and throws an open-handed slap with her left hand toward you.
Oh.
Does a 20 hit you?
Wait.
Yes!
Wait. How
It does!
Why did she take her turn before mine? What?
Oh, wait. Yeah, you go ahead.
What are you
Ooh.
doing
Sorry.
here, bud? You're lucky, Rue. I saved your goddamn life.
You did, because he was about to open-hand slap you. We're going to do...
Oh.
I'm going to re-roll that, too. I'm not going to keep that.
Destroyed.
I'm gonna shoot at fucking Mara again. Short bow time.
Go ahead.
Fucking. That's not gonna hit. That's a 9.
And as you shoot the arrow, Marumeru catches it between her index finger and forefinger.
Damn it, cat! Stop catching my arrows.
And then what she does is she flings it into your mouth as you're talking.
Oh no!
However, she misses her mark totally.
Oh.
See, both of us can't hit each other.
And then you can see that Marumeru, like, snaps her head to her left toward Rue, and she throws a backhand slap this time.
Oh, she's pimp slapping you, dude.
And she manages to not really land a hit on your skin. So it kind of slides off. It kind of slides off without actually making direct impact with you, and she's thrown off balance a little bit, because she threw all of her body weight into it.
Just get fucking obliterated by her anchor arms.
You can kind of see that she's like getting a little winded at this point, but you can see the determination in her eyes.
No, wonderful.
And then Belili's like, poofy you! And you oh shit, you recover 8 HP.
Wait, to Rue?
Yes!
To Rue.
Okay.
I'm poofy.
Poofy, go.
So that's 8.
Hey.
11. That's 11 then. Boop, boop. Alright, it's whose turn is it now?
It's yours.
It is yours.
Alright. I'm going to cast Firebolt again.
Alright, spell attack roll.
Alright, let's get this 17 without modifier.
Don't even modifier. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Finally! Oh my god, it feels so good! Oh my god. Ooh, alright. No, that's the 12. Excuse me, it's 10. Boop. It's a 3! It's a 3!
So she takes 3 points of damage then.
Motherfucker.
You can see Maru's shoulder, which is exposed, get caught in the flames a bit, and then she blows it out quickly. And then, as she's looking up Maven, it is your turn.
Short bow!
Alright, go ahead.
Please, just hit. That's a 14 plus dex at 16.
You shoot your arrow, and you barely bonk her in the forehead with the trailing arrow. Roll your damage.
Oh.
That is a D6.
6.
8-6. And that is 5.
Plus 2, correct?
No, it's 5. It's just a 5.
Oh.
I rolled 3.
Okay. Math! So as you hit Marumeru with this arrow, she kind of holds her forehead for a second, and you can kind of see her break into a sweat a little bit. If this was to the death, she'd be bloodied, but she's getting a little tired now.
The matter, fat cat. You getting tired there?
Rue kind of says, dude, don't tease her.
And then Marumeru gets down in a 3-point stand, and she says, "You know what they say, don't you? You can't spell fast without..." And then her eyes glow. And in a moment, she is directly in front of you, doing a shoulder charge, Maven.
Oh, shit.
Does a 21 hit you?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
I'll gladly take it.
You need to make a Constitution saving throw.
What's the die for that?
That's a D20.
Okay. Constitution saving. Yay. That's a 19. Plus Constitution.
Okay.
If you want
So you So you succeed on that Constitution check. However, you do still take 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're pushed back 20 feet.
Okay, so that makes me at 1.
And then, as you're pushing back and trying to catch your balance, you can see the bottom of Marumeru's feet and her very large butt, because she's about to drop kick you.
Oh no!
However, she whips completely and just lands on her ass, because I got a nat 1.
Oh. Ooh.
She's definitely breathing hard now. And then, at this moment, you hear Belili cry out in panic, being like, friends, I have bad news.
What's that, Belele?
Oh no.
Belili magically tired.
Oh no.
Great. Last thing I
Oh
wanted to
no.
hear.
However, Belili joins the fight.
Oh, wonderful.
She comes up behind Marumeru, and she has a tonfa in her hand, and she spins it. And she misses Marumeru. But with her bonus action, she throws her second tonfa action, and misses her again.
Oh my god. Ooh.
Thanks.
She's trying her best, okay?
She's authentically trying to help you.
I know.
Alright, Rue, it's your turn.
I'm gonna cast Firebolt again, because why wouldn't I?
Alright, go ahead.
That's a 17. I rolled a 17.
Okay, roll your damage, that's a hit.
Yay!
Oh yeah. Finally some good rolls. Boop. I got a 6B. I rolled a 6 for damage.
Okay. So Marumeru is hit with it, and you can kind of see one of her, part of her ear and her hair catches on fire, but she quickly shakes it off.
Oh.
And then she stands up and looks toward you, and Maven, it's your turn.
Ooh.
You know what time it is. It's short bow time. Please hit her. It's a 15. I'm pretty sure that don't hit.
Is that with your modifiers?
With modifiers, yes.
So you shoot the arrow, and it flies... It flies to where her head is, but she dips back because she hears the wind swirling around it.
Ooh.
Maven size. Fuck.
And then Rue, you begin to sweat a little bit as you see Marumeru reach up to her left shoulder this time, and she charges at you at a speed that you can't even comprehend.
Oh no.
Getting a natural 20.
Oh,
Fuck!
that's a crit too. Oh, why?
So, Rue, you take 4 plus 5 plus 2 damage.
That
Oh,
is
wonderful.
11 damage.
So she bowls you directly into the ground, and you slide, like, backward 10 feet. You don't drop to 0, though. You drop to 1.
Oh, fuck.
How much damage did you deal to her last time? 6?
Yeah.
Don't ask why I'm keeping track of the numbers. I'm doing it for a good reason.
Yeah.
Damn, 11 points of damage. Fuck.
That's 11 damage right there. Fucked her up.
I fucked up.
And then it's Belili's turn, and she is, she can tell that Marumeru's occupied. And then she's like, "Hey, you Kate, I have an idea." And then Belili runs over and jumps on Marumeru's shoulders, and she's trying to get her off. This is the assist action.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
oh shit.
So for you.
So what now?
So your next attack roll has advantage.
Oh, sweet.
Finally.
So, would it be Rue's turn, or is she, like, down?
If Rue can heal, she might want to. Oh wait, you can't. You didn't appraise that.
Ooh.
You forgot to appraise your bottle, dude.
That's
I
what I-
did.
So you can make your next attack roll with... Oh, if you do that, though, it's gonna...
With disadvantage, isn't it?
Ooh. Yeah, because if you use the advantage from assist, it uses it. Shit.
So if I attack her, my the Lele's advantage goes to me.
Yes.
Mm.
It's up to you.
I mean, there's not much I can really do, can I?
You could also play dead.
Oh.
It's also another.
What?
Well, not
yeah.
dead per se. You could
Just
play
like-
dead.
Knocked out.
Yeah, play possum pretty much.
Yeah. That's a pretty smart move, but guess what? Rue's not about smart moves.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So, if I cast this spell, is Balele gonna be hit by it?
Since you're prone, you would make it with disadvantage. And since you were going to make the roll with advantage, you make the roll normally. They cancel out.
Cancel each other out. No!
Oh.
They cancel each other out! No! That's the worst.
Also, you would have gotten sneak attack from advantage.
No! Just play dead! Please, just play dead! Let me do this!
Well, I didn't. You know
This
what? You know what?
This is
You know
part of
what?
learning. This is part of learning.
No!
I didn't say which spell I was gonna cast though. I just asked if it would hit Balele.
My
No, it won't.
attack.
No, it won't. It won't hit Blue.
Well, I'm just gonna pass my turn. That's what you can do, right?
Play dead.
Pass it to Maven.
So you pretty
Well-
much stay on the ground and you go. You can't hold actions.
You can't hold an action.
Yeah, I'm just gonna step back and just like let Maven take his turn.
Okay, then go ahead.
Just fucking crawl in a ball.
Short bow time. Yeah. It's a 19. Holy shit.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a hit. So roll your damage with your other d6 for your sneak attack dice.
That is also sneak attack as well. Please. That's 7 plus dex. That is a 9.
Yes.
That is
Okay. So after you hit Marumeru with this with the arrow, it kind of hits her in the spine, like above her tail, and you can see her kind of recoil and go, "Ugh." And then she's like, "Okay, all right, I think that's good," because she was at 1 HP.
Yes. Fuck you, fat cat. Yeah.
Finally.
And then she's like, "Wow, y'all actually put up a pretty good fight.
What can I say? You don't need.
If
you don't need
If
magic
a
all
little
the time.
munchkin didn't interfere," and then she lays Bluey down. She's like, "No, don't do it to me, please!" And then she starts tickling Bluey's belly.
Aw. Baby.
And she's
She
like,
had to do it to her.
"Oh, you little goober! Oh, why'd you have to help him?" Just like, "Fat cat too strong and need handicap." So, both of you earn XP proportionate to how much damage you dealt and took over the amount of rounds that you lasted. So, Rue, you earn 246 XP, and Maven, you earn 230.
Awesome.
So, this was not for no reason.
It's good.
And even though Mara's a little beaten up, you can tell that she's still chipper as she was. You can kind of tell that she was getting more excited as she took damage.
Ooh.
You don't say with her glowing
Yeah.
eyes.
And then Maramir's like, "Well, I got to test a little bit of energy on y'all. So you see, there's something in the air called ether, and whenever someone casts magic, I can use the residual ether to do strange things."
She's got fucking. She can. What?
Ooh.
Wait, so she gains power from magic users? That's fuck. That's fucking crazy. What? Wait, hold on. What? Are you serious?
She's a mage killer.
Oh wow.
Think about Did you think about when I had her use Etherline attacks? It was after a botched magic throw.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Oh my god! No.
I also
way.
did it. I also did it when Belili cast magic because it puts either in the air.
Yeah. Oh my god. What? Oh shit. That's wild. Holy fuck. She's literally a tank.
Yep.
That's literally what the fuck. Actually crazy.
I'll tell you now, she had 38 hit points.
Jeez.
Her hit dice is a D10, and she has +4 Constitution.
Damn.
So,
Damn.
big belly, big butt equals big HP.
Rude.
Oh my god.
And she's like, "Y'all fought real well. I haven't had a tussle like that in a while. Maybe next time we'll have a ring and we can actually properly wrestle."
Ugh. No,
Oh
thank
boy.
you.
No, thank you.
If you're lucky, I might actually take you up on that offer.
And then Marmir's like, "Yeah, those of us that don't cast magic have to stick together. You see, my pappy taught me that if I wanted to do anything, I needed to learn how to work with magic. But I don't like magic. I like punching people in the face. So when a mage tries to hit me, that gives me the ability to use their opportunities against them." Someone called it adrenaline, but it's with either, so we call it etherlin. Like a portmanteau, 2 words. It sounds weird. I don't even know if I can. It's funny. Marmir is dumb, but she's a very good speller. I was about to say I don't even know if I can spell that, but she absolutely can.
Jesus.
So, if there's at any point you feel like you're going to be contesting with a lot of magic and you think you could hold your own, I'd love to go around and punch some glasses in. Ironically, she too is wearing glasses.
Mm.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like I got to learn a lot. Thank y'all for throwing spells at me so I could really test my new abilities.
We certainly learned a lot about you.
Is everyone at 1 HP?
Yes.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
actually.
Everyone is at 1.
I was, lucky enough to get that last shot off on Bart.
I was tempted to give Belili an extra cast of healing word or cure wounds, but I'm like, I can't do it. She only has 3 level 1 spell slots.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then Belili's like, "You guys are strong too. Everybody's strong."
Kind of like rubs her head. I certainly don't feel strong right now.
Marumir is kind of laying on her back, and then Belili's rubbing her hands on her belly. He's like, "Fat cat, why are you so soft? How can you be so soft and so strong?" And then Marumir is like, "Are there any more donuts?"
That was. Did you eat all of them?
And then Belili's kind of like, "Is donuts secret to power?" I also realized I missed at the one-liner where she was gonna say you can't spell fast without fat. I forgot the second part of
You
it.
forgot to say it. I was expecting you to say it. I was like, no,
Oh.
Randy, you forgot it.
Randy.
Next time, dude. I got too caught up in running the damage rolls.
Yeah, you were like, you can't spell fast without.
Fast without.
You didn't say anything.
I forgot to say it.
I was like, say the line.
I literally tried this out. I tried this out on him while we were playing the game yesterday.
Yeah, we were talking about this. I was expecting it. Oh man.
And at this point, like, Marmir sits up and she's like, "How about we get some grub? I know that it's only like 3 o'clock, but I feel like that's quite enough for one day."
Yeah. Certainly could go for any sort of substance right now. How about you, Rue?
Yes. Please.
And then Marumeru's like, okay. And then she snatches a Bolili under her arm and stands up as if with no effort, even though she's just laying down. And she kind of prances over to the dining hall again. You can see Bolili's little pale bare feet flailing as she's trying to get out of her grip.
No. Maiden goes to help brew up.
Thank you. See? What did I tell you? You've got big things ahead of you.
Yeah, I could take down a fat cat if I need to.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely impressive.
Yeah, it hurts, but yeah, we work together as a team, so.
As you're standing up, you can hear a soft.
What the heck?
And then you hear the sounds of a crutch occasionally hitting the dirt. And Jamie's like, well, I have never seen anyone come out of a fight with Marumeru without a mild concussion.
Oh, we've been there, done that.
We've dealt with enough shit, so. We work together as a team, and who knows? Well, I guess who knows? Who knows who else we can take on?
Jamie crosses her arms. He's like, I think she's really starting to take a liking to you.
To both of us?
Yes, both of you.
Well, that's good.
Marumeru is what you call a thrill seeker, so you would say.
You don't say.
The rest of us would cry and yelp at the sign of pain, but Marumeru seems to run at it head first with an arm drawn back, and I just don't understand.
She's very determined in what she wants to do. I'll give her that.
She's very good at it, too.
Jamie's like, well, maybe the secret of her strength is food.
Who knows?
Rue kind of like murmurs to herself.
Man, I wish food gave me that kind of power.
And then Jamie's like, well, where Marumeru comes from is she comes from a family of little people, like myself. And being the only large person around, you'd have to imagine she would probably starve day in, day out, yes?
Most likely, yeah.
You see, in Clemmacia, we haven't always operated on this system of coin and sanction. We've only coined currency within the past 4 years. Up until then, I worked as a barmaid. I just did it because it was the only place I could get room and board. And you know what? It was miserable. But Miss Marumeru managed to find a way to work for food each day, and the drive to eat the next meal is what drove her. So it's good to see that some things don't change, but I don't understand. I truly do not understand that girl.
She's certainly one of the most interesting people I've met.
Oh, yeah. You could say that again.
The last time I tried to take her to the boutique, she would refuse to wear a skirt or a dress for that matter. The only thing she ever seems to wear are the spandex she wears.
Interesting. I guess she just has a specific style she likes. And I guess that style's more athletic than anything.
She seems to be doing well in it.
Jamie's like, if you have seen her fight, you should see her run.
Oh, yeah. I've seen her run before.
Yeah,
If you were not in the way, she probably would not have stopped for minutes.
Oh.
she certainly knows how to charge into people.
Have you noticed the roundness, how it's gone away? A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marumeru's been a bit dormant, but now that she's able to move around, her metabolism's starting to balance out. And everyone has a different limit. Marumeru's is just quite a bit more plush than the rest of ours.
Hmm.
Anyway, I just wanted to congratulate you on a job well done. Usually, Sir Grimm doesn't really play rough with Miss Meru. After all, he is... And she starts counting on her fingers for about half a minute. And then she puts her finger to her ears like, Sir Grimm, how old are you again? No reason, I was just curious. Okay. I promise I asked for no reason, okay? Okay. And she takes her finger off her ear. Sir Hergrim is 463 years old.
Well,
I'm sure his old bones would not appreciate getting tackled down.
And I'm sure the little ones probably wouldn't care for it either.
oh,
And then Jamie's like,
definitely
Jamie's like, no, Puko loves it.
not. Oh.
I guess that makes sense too, huh?
But now that Marumeru has a slightly larger friend, maybe her serial punchings will be decreased.
Serial punchings.
As in, like, she punches people randomly?
She just wants to get a gauge of their strength, that's all.
Hmm.
That's probably when she punched you. First day she
Hell.
met you.
Hell hath no fury like a fat cat that missed the punch.
No wonder she wanted ding.
You should be very glad that you took it and went on.
Ooh.
Marumeru is learning new strange things, and I am afraid to know what she can do as more time goes on.
Well,
But she is on our side, and as long as she remains on our side, we shouldn't have to worry.
yeah. Seeing how she was handling herself in the spa, certainly she can do a lot to people.
And Jamie nods her head, just like, the rest of us rely on magic and weapons. Miss Marumeru? She didn't have a weapon.
Well, she has two. Her fists.
She is the weapon.
Yeah.
And then JB kind of says this quietly. She hasn't hit you with her backside yet, has she?
Oh.
Luckily, no.
Do not hope you ever see the backside.
And kind of like clenches her teeth, grimacing.
Even
The last time we saw the backside, we had to replace the cobblestone path. And as you turn to your right, you see a vague humanoid shape pressed down into the cobblestone.
Oh my
But you can see there was gravel shoveled in to fill it in hastily.
Oh god.
Hey, Mav, that kind of looks like yours.
Don't talk about it.
And then Jamie's like, it was actually mine.
Oh.
Fucking hell.
You have to wonder why it's taking so long for my ankle to heal. I have to start the healing process all over again.
Oh, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Any road. I hope next time I could catch the two of you without Miss Marumeru around. It's been a while since I've had a good spar, but you seem to be a bit tired. Go on, go eat.
Thank you.
After all that,
And
I could use a bite.
And get plenty of rest. We have a fun event planned for all of you. I hope Miss Dean awakens. If not, oh well. And after this, she kind of puts up a hand and she goes and sits by the playing tables again. You can kind of see her count through her coins another time.
Well, let's go eat, Rue. After
Ugh,
all
I'm
that,
just-
I'm
I
starved.
just hope I'm not. I guess I. Ooh, what's English? I just hope I'm not so sore that I can't pick up a fork.
You'll be fine.
And you guys scoop up your regular weapons again before you head out, and you drop your training weapons off.
Yep.
It would be very sad to go somewhere where you need weapons and you have just a rope.
Still broke for a whip.
A cylinder for a fucking short sword.
It's so sad.
So as you head into the mess hall, you see Puko and Balili interacting, and you notice how stark of a height difference is between the two, because there's like an 8-inch height difference.
Puko's taller, right?
No, Puko's shorter. She's a child.
Oh, she's the small. She's
Balili is like a teenager. She's like 3'3" or something like that.
Oh.
She's almost as tall as Jamie is, actually, and Jamie is an adult, and she's just really short.
Oh.
So as you come in, Marimar is like, "Oh no, here, I got it," and she pulls out the seats and seats both of you, and she serves you a first hearty serving of stew and cornbread, and then Marimar is like, "You know what? I got something else here," and she reaches up in the counter and pulls out a cookie jar, and she retrieves 2 sweet cakes each for each of you from the previous day before they got squished.
Oh my god. Before you being squished them.
And then Puko's like, "Maru, did you just share?" And then Marimir's like, "Well, you know what? They put up a good fight. I haven't had fun like that since the last group. We don't talk about the last group." And then she kind of looks disdainfully out at the punching bag with the Supreme fanny pack on it.
Supreme fanny pack. Oh my god.
Maven notices that the punching bag and looks at it mildly confused. What does Supreme mean? Like, never mind. Thank you, Mara.
Thanks, Maru.
So you're all at the table. Would you like to speak amongst them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, that's a very interesting punching bag you got there. Want to tell me how that came to be?
Well, there was a big, mean elf person that snapped off part of my boss's ear, and then broke her leg, and then he's not here anymore.
What happened to him?
I don't know, but we found his stuff the next morning.
Huh.
Well, he certainly has an interesting fashion sense from the look of it.
Very, let's just say, modern?
And then
I
Marimar
see.
says, "Yeah, I agree, even though I'm basically a big yellow plush toy anywhere I go."
No.
Well, hopefully we don't have to worry about someone like that again.
Hopefully not.
And then Marimar turns toward Puko and is like, "Hey, Puko, did y'all have fun staring at that well earlier?" And then you kind of see Balili's eyes kind of open wide as she kind of turns toward Marimar and Puko.
Yeah.
And then Puko's like, "People have been telling me that all day. We were only there for like 15 minutes, tops."
Wait, so we're not the crazy ones? You thought we were only there for a couple minutes too, Puko?
Yeah. I just went to the apothecary, and before I knew it, it was supper time.
But what? How even?
How? Why does everyone think we were staring at the well?
It felt
we
like
were-
it was only like 20 minutes tops.
And Marimir's like, "You were staring at the whale. We were at the sparring area. We watched you the whole time." And Balili's just kind of looking toward the both of you, saying nothing at all. But you can tell that this is not her first dealing with this.
Wait a minute.
Lily, do you know anything about this?
Balili rubs her chin and says, "No, of course not. Me not know anything about this. You guys are funny, haha."
Can I persuade her to try and tell the truth?
Tell you what, I'll roll deception against you. Do a counter persuasion check. Oh shit, don't even. I rolled a net one.
Oh. Finally! A chance!
Don't even roll. Just go ahead.
Alright. You have to know something. You look like I can see it in your eyes. You know that well, like nobody else here. You have to tell us what's going on here.
To explain what go on, we're going to have to go look at the book.
At the
Book?
You mean at the tome?
Me have a suspicion of holy book.
Ooh.
Are we allowed to even go near? Like,
Schwale, Belili says, if we have good enough reason, Grey One should let us get close. Yes?
It's a good enough reason. If it can help us solve out what's going on, I say that's a good enough reason.
but we've seen what that book can do. Are we sure?
Positive. Maybe if we can figure out what's going on, maybe we can find out what that book's about.
Puko puts up her finger. She's like, hang on a second. Everyone's gonna go to Oversized Overpass and have a good time tomorrow. So, how about we stay away from the well? I'll talk to Uncle Hergrim, because this area runs... The Ether Stream runs directly through this area, and it causes weird things to happen, so maybe he'll know. And Uncle Hergrim has direct connection to Lady Jamie, so maybe he can do all the talking for us. Because I like you two. You've helped us out in the whole day that you've been here. But I wouldn't recommend getting a little too, I wouldn't recommend trying to step out of bounds too much with Lady Jamie. She's a little, And then Marmir speaks up. She's a little bit on the cautious side, so you want to stay on her good side. And then she winks at you with opening her mouth like, wait, like she's trying to tell you something subtle, even though it's totally obvious.
Yeah, I kind of picked
You
that
just
up
want to
about
stay. You just want to stay on her good side for now.
it. Now.
Puko is a mushroom of her word, and she'll look into it for you. I don't want y'all to end up on the inquisitive side like that Squid character friend of yours. She's been asking a lot of questions about her today.
Yeah.
That explains it.
Well, you probably should just steer clear for now.
Yeah, Marmir speaks up with a little concern, right? She's like, the thing about Jamie is she really likes the concept of money, and if she doesn't feel like you'll be able to hold your own in Clemmacia, she's like to kick you out in the world, and we don't know what's going to happen to you when you leave Birchback Burrow. Now, we might have had this whole kobold situation figured out, but who knows what could have happened? Everything could have gone so much differently.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But there's gotta be a way to
Puko?
make this good.
Well,
Yes?
Puko, if you're sure Hergrim can coax Jamie into letting us see that tome again to figure out what's going on with that well, I'll take up your word on it.
And then Puko speaks up and says, the only thing you really need to be able to do is make the down payment when that comes up on... I don't remember what day it was. Was it Lightning's Day? And then Maramir's like, I think it was Lightning's Day. I'm an employee, so it was just taken out of my pension. I don't have to pay it. And then Puko's like, yeah, that's right. If you can prove that you can make that payment on time and not give her any difficulty, we should be able to make inquiries and figure out just what's going on. And I think at that point, Jamie will be more like to let you go outside of Birchback Burrow, because there are a lot more friends of ours and characters that you should meet, and there's a lot more mysteries that us Flora really want to solve. Miss Meru, I'm jealous of you because you get to leave freely of your own. And the Marmara's like, yeah, the outside world's great. Isn't that right, Belili? And then Belili's like, yeah, she bought me a whole outfit and a donut. Oh, I did the wrong dialect. Yeah, it's great. Me get donut, new outfit is great. Mas sticky, icky, gross. No, not good. There you go. There it is. I knew I messed it up. I was like, I'm still cooking mode. Shit.
Well, that definitely sounds interesting. If there's anything I love, it's a good mystery. What about you, Maven?
I do love a mystery, but I would love to visit the outside world. It seems fun. So
Yeah.
Because I don't like staying in one place for a while.
And the Marmara's like, well, as soon as we can get out into the town, we'll get a taste what outside of Birchback Burrow's like. And it should be no time at all before you're able to scour the area. And I'll tell you what, if you're ever in trouble, have you ever wondered how I got to town and back in a single night?
How so?
That will be a mystery I'll have to tell you when that comes up. And she does the totally obvious, like, wink and open her mouth, even though she's totally not telling you anything that's not obvious.
Great.
Really claps her hands together.
Well, that's enough cryptid shit for one night. How about we just eat?
Amen to that.
And then you ate. And ate, and ate, and ate.
The food was eaten.
We make the stew eating.
And then everyone is finished eating, and Maramira cleans up after the kids and herself. She's like, well, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see y'all around. I'm going to go over to the lodge and read the kids a bedtime story, even though it's like sundown.
Oh.
And then Belie's like, story? You have story? And then Puko's like, yeah, she reads us stories every night.
No.
Oh.
She'll read as many stories as we want until bedtime. And then Maramira's like, yeah, I'll read you several chapters if you want. Come on, let's go, kids. And she scoops them both up in her arms. And then she kind of walks out of the dining area and goes over to the lodge.
No.
And as the door swings shut on its own, you can hear the occasional of a crutch hitting the floor.
Oh boy.
And then Jamie's kind of standing behind both of you. He's like, well.
Maven gets the slightly spooked, not like expecting her to come in. Hey,
Oh.
hey, Jamie.
What's up?
Hello, you two. You wouldn't happen to have been talking about things without us knowing, would you?
Well, we were just curious on the whole well situation, was all.
And Jamie's like, well, I'm curious about it too. And then she, with her free hand, she points up toward the yellow link pearl that's in her ear, and you seem to recognize that both Puko and Marumeru also had those in as you were talking to them.
Ooh.
Oh.
And then she says, there are flies on the walls in this establishment, the both of you. There are flies on the walls.
Yeah. I can see.
I'm going to look past it this time because I see bright futures in the both of you. And you have greatly exceeded expectations. And you know, and then Jamie climbs up in her chair on her own. She struggles a little bit. She's like, okay. At first I was a little worried about your Outlander's ability to make money and fit in Clemmacia, and you seem to be a good fit. It's not you two I'm worried about. It's your squid friend.
Ding?
Ding.
What do you see wrong with Ding?
She's like 2 feet tall. What could be dangerous about her?
Did you think the fat cat would be able to take 2 of you on at once?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I kind of expected Maru to be able to fight both of us.
Yeah.
Did you know that on the first impression?
I felt like she could kill anyone.
Basically.
Well, it's just... Jamie puts her heads in her hands for a second and kind of wipes her face. He's like, you see that punching bag out there with the tacky fanny pack on it?
Yeah, the one that
Yeah.
Maru was telling us about.
He was part of the last band of Outlanders that we let into Clemmacia.
Like the
And
one
that
with,
gentle...
I mean,
Yes.
also including
And
the
also
bracelet.
the... Yes, also the bracelets. That was the other Outlander that we allowed. Everything was good at first, and everything was trustworthy. And then the High Elf became a giant direwolf, and pretty much removed my ability to do what it is that you're able to do. And I hate it. I would love nothing more to get out of this claustrophobic area. I love the world. I was stuck as a barmaid for 4 or 5, I don't even remember how many years. Too many years. I yearn for the day where I can heal my ankle and walk again and fight amongst you. And the day that I am able to walk again is the day that Maru, Miss good old Meru, will not be the scrap king that she is today.
So what you're saying is that you can fight better than her when you're at your best.
And then Jamie kind of shrugs and she says, who knows? I might even be able to do it today, but I'd be at a hefty disadvantage.
Yeah.
But when this all went down with the direwolf stuff and the new moon and the ankle breaking, times were bad. It's hard to trust Outlanders when people are so capable of doing a heel turn at any time. I know I feel like I'm a little bit money grubbing sometimes and a little untrustworthy, but I just don't want that to happen again. Had you noticed earlier the small pink circle on Miss Mayer's belly?
Hmm.
Rue, the first time around, you remember this.
Wait. Yeah, I do. But what's that have to do with anything?
While the punching bag that's hanging on that tree, the owner of those clothes tried to off Miss Meru, and he very nearly succeeded.
Oh.
Rue kind of seizes up hearing this.
He almost succeeded with Maru?
She slowly nods her head. Yeah, he almost succeeded.
Rue
That,
kind of looks at Maven, clearly disturbed.
that seems impossible. That, is he still around, or?
Jamie laughs like, I don't know where he is, but he's no longer in Clemmacia.
Maven has a sigh of relief. Well, that's
Well, he isn't a high elf anymore in Clemmacia. Who knows where he is?
great.
Wait. You mean he never turned back?
Jamie's like, well, no, he never did. The last I had seen of that 10-foot direwolf was in Birchback Burrow. But since then, he was banished out of Birchback Burrow and elsewhere in the world, so who knows? I'd felt like prey my entire life, but it was that very moment where I truly had an experience of the hunter and the hunted, and I was the hunted.
Ugh.
Sorry you had to deal with that.
Don't worry about it. It's just, I'm loath to let you into this world with the dangers, knowing that you might be associated with me. And due to the terms of the summons, you're now going to have to be tied to me, and I'm afraid of the implications it will bring. So, I want to apologize for being a little restrictive at the beginning, but it's for the safety of our esteemed guests. If there at any time you have a problem with any of my employees, let me know, and I'll make sure that we get these things resolved. Because it would be beneficial for both us as the summoners and you as the visitors that we can work amicably, satisfy the condition of the summons, and send you home if that is where you'd like to go.
Well, to be quite honest, this is the only safe space I've ever really felt I had so far, and I kind of like it here.
You kind of like crosses her arms.
Well, I don't know. See, I was never good at staying in one place. It's why I never liked being.
She kind of like catches herself before she discloses.
Who I was. I never really liked staying in one place. I love adventure. The mysteries out there in the world, I feel them call to me. I just can't help but explore, you know?
Jamie smiles a bit and nods her head, just like, yes, I understand, but tomorrow we're going to go to town, get a first taste of what else the realm has to offer. You two have proven yourselves capable, and I trust the both of you. I hope this is a trust that I won't regret, but there's only one way to find that out, and that is to go forward.
Agreed.
I'm worried about our friend here, but I need to be more optimistic.
She certainly, I believe she can hold her own. Even though she's more, well, I guess,
She's tiny.
she's tiny, yeah, but she's not really, she's a deep sleeper, apparently. But who knows? We just have to find out for ourselves.
And then Jamie kind of rubs her chin, and she's like, maybe Miss Ding is not who she is wanting to be quite yet. Perhaps we should grant her some time.
Oh yeah, I remember a time in my life when I wasn't someone who I wanted to be.
Hey, Jamie,
Jamie kind of... Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
you said you had studied that tome, right?
I have a bit. What of it?
Did you see anything that you could not have read by any chance?
Something that I could not have read. I've only read all the passages where the wishes in it were in the dead center of the page. I haven't bothered to leaf through the entire tome. Perhaps that should be a project for tomorrow. Because seeing the two of you stare agape at a well is not normal.
Yeah.
I've already told you that Puko is not a normal child. I do not know if this is related to the tome, but I do know that little Puko was the only one that wrote into the tome. So perhaps it could be related.
What if
Go ahead.
what if Puka wasn't the only one to write in the tome?
We shall have to investigate this then. We could also get a little bit of outside help, but I haven't spoken to them in ages.
Them?
I'm sure you'll get a chance to meet them in our excursion to town tomorrow. Good friend of mine. Loves the kids. Anyway, as I've said, if you feel that you have a trouble with one of my employees or someone else, we'll try to get it resolved, hopefully peacefully. With Miss Marimeru, certain things is her way or the highway. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And as she laughs, you can tell it's like forced laughter. Any road, I'm sorry to have intruded upon you using the communication. I don't want to make a habit of it. But Miss Meru was right. I have a tendency to be a little bit too careful and a little too mysterious, but if people were... Let's put it this way. If you knew what to expect all of the time, you would get bored of being at home and you'd want to go elsewhere, yes?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I should let you discover Clemmacia's secrets on your own accord. And then with this, she kind of hops out of the chair and she starts to kind of limp her way out. He's like, and make sure to get plenty of chunky choke. Alright. I got like a pepperoni stuck in my throat. Gross.
Character break.
Anyway.
Gross.
Anyway, make sure you get lots of rest. I'm sure Miss Dean will come around. And you're really sure we can trust Miss Dean?
If
Well-
we can't, then I'm sure you guys would have no trouble dealing with her.
You guys summoned us, so all I can say is that we have to try.
Jamie shakes her head a little bit and says, Sir Graham has told me that it's not simply Ding that we have to worry about. It may be something above us related to Ding that we may have to worry about, and that is what concerns me.
Above?
You kind of like furrows her brows and like sinks lower in her chair hearing this.
Huh. Well,
Jamie dips her head a bit, and she's like, remember what I said. Just be cautious, okay?
Maven nods his head. Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, good night to the both of you. The sun is setting, so just feel free to lights out whenever you'd like. I'll be at the storefront arranging some funds for tomorrow. And then she goes on her way out of the dining hall back to the storefront. The silence now is really deafening. After, like, she just kind of comes in around her corner, it's like, I know what you said.
Jesus. Maven looks at Rue, just like shaken up about all of the things that have been happening. Well, there's a fly on the wall everywhere.
Well, I suppose there is.
Can we really trust Dang?
Rue, like, kind of sighs.
Honestly, I'm not sure who to trust anymore.
I know. There's a lot that's already happening, and I'm just flustered, I guess. The best way to put it.
Maven,
Yes.
tell me something.
Go ahead. What do you need to know?
Do you think there's anyone listening in on us right now?
Maven looks around the dining room area I can't say no for sure. But
Maybe this is best left for when we go to before bed. I have some things on my mind. I should probably express.
sounds good to me. We should clean up and probably relax a bit. Because knowing after that Maru fight, we probably should rest for a while.
Oh, yeah, I'm beat.
Literally. Literally.
All right.
The two clean up and then go to the lodging area.
To the lodging area.
Yeah.
To the lodging!
So as you head into the lodging area, you can see Marumeru kind of in her nightgown and everything. And then she's got Puko on one side in her pajamas and Belili on the other side wearing a shirt that's way too big for her as pajamas.
No.
Aw.
And they're asleep with Marumeru's book kind of clasped shut on her chest, and they're all in the hammock just kind of swung to sleep.
No.
It's so cute. Rue kind of like grabs Maven's arm and like gently nudges him back.
Hey, let's stay outside for a second.
Okay. So, what did you need to talk about?
Rue makes sure like the door is closed and that and looks around to make sure nobody's in hearing range. Hopefully.
Look, now, I'm pretty shaken up about what Jamie told us too. But have you been listening to what she's been saying to us all day?
I mean,
Think-
yeah.
Think about it. Saying that she's surprised to see us back. That thing about being perceptive and deceptive. I'm sorry if this makes me seem like a bad person, but how do we know we can trust them? How do we know they aren't trying to set Ding up for their own deception, huh?
I don't know. We were called here for a reason. They wouldn't just get any random person. Dean obviously has special abilities that no one else has. But
That's the thing. Who knows if they called us here for a good reason? Who knows they won't try something with us later on when we're at our weakest?
that's why we have to grow stronger.
I just feel bad about it, but I don't know. I can't help but be suspicious sometimes. Maybe it's just a fleeting feeling, but if I were you, I'd just keep your guard up. Okay?
I always do.
Good.
The world is a scary place, Rue. Like, you and I
Yeah.
both know that. But there are people who have our back. And for the most part, it seems like everyone here has our back. But they're still curious about Ding.
All I'm
We've-
saying is,
We've only been here for a couple of days. Of course they're going to be suspicious. And Ding's been knocked out for a whole day already.
I guess you're right. Maybe this feeling will.
Maybe we're just overthinking everything. I don't know.
Maybe.
But for sure we have to keep our guard up.
Right. Well, no use spending this time worrying about a fleeting feeling. Then, how about we get to bed?
Agreed. Sounds great with me.
Oh, jeez, what was that?
Yeah, that was.
That was my cup.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Jesus.
Cuphead died.
Oh,
It's a cup. Don't worry.
Anyway, you guys gonna head on in now?
Head to
Yep.
bit. Yes. Ugh.
As you head back in, you see Puko shuts her eyes as you walk in.
Oh, great.
mm. Mm.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh boy.
Marumeru and Belili seem like they were legitimately asleep.
I'm just gonna pretend like he didn't see that for now.
Maybe just
Like you know when someone comes in, like if you had a parent wanting to bug you and you're pretending to be asleep so they'll go away, like you close your eyes fast enough as you hear the door open, but you're a little too late.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. Like you just barely catch the eyelashes. Like, go down, stop.
Well. Oh, hang on. Rue, like, uh, snatches Maven's arm again, motioning him to bend over.
What? Okay. He bends over, confused.
You saw that, right?
Yeah. The little one closed and opened their eyes. Or opened and closed their eyes, technically.
Rue stares at him intently.
Flies on the wall, Maven. There's always one, isn't there?
Again.
And she just lets him go and just goes to her bed.
Everywhere. Maven goes to his bed. My tummy. My tummy is rumbling.
My
I have the
tummy.
rumblies. Oh man.
So, anything else before we close out?
I think that's it, pretty much.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Benefits of a long rest. That's it for today.
Oh, yeah.